Your mind is being altered by stoned ape theories with
Hubo,
Kapowski,
and Broseph Smith.
a podcast where we alter our perception of reality and discuss the meaning of life on this pale blue dot.
My state, primate. My state, primate. I stay.
Oh my fucking god.
Stoned Ape Theories episode 73.
I was promised a Cody,
74.
but
yeah.
we were flaked on. Apparently.
74? You're saying 74.
73?
Oh,
73.
73. All right, I was right.
We
I
may
was
have
right.
early onset, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Is there a teleporta potty around here?
Yeah.
What dimension did you come from, sir?
Before we get too far into it, go check out patreon.com/Stoned Ape Theories podcast. Helps us keep the lights on, helps us keep it moving. Also gives you access to the Patreon or to the Discord server and also some bonus content. We got some bonus deals over there. All the podcasts that get fucked up, corrupted, or whatever, they just get pushed over there, whatever survives. So there's a couple good gems floating around in there.
Couple of abortions.
Yeah, a couple of good abortions floating around.
Patreon does have some pretty chaotic ass shit in there, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We
Do you
support.
have all the bonus episodes up there?
Yes.
Yeah.
The bonus episodes are crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yes, exactly.
Some of the craziest shit we've said.
I know. We
Yes.
gotta go through it
Crazy?
and clip that shit up too, because there's some gold.
Yeah. No,
And the
it's good as
bonus.
fuck. So go check it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Old but
comment,
gold.
subscribe, do all the normal things. Leave a like on the video if you're watching it on YouTube.
Yeah,
You know, do the things.
Crack a tall or
Well,
short
we just
boy
need to make
before
our
the
Discord
episode.
active and like invite
We don't
people
endorse
to the
drugs,
Discord
but we do
and
endorse
make it
drinking.
accessible to people.
Well, if we upload clips from our bonus episodes, people will be like, "Where's that? That's not in these episodes."
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
I think that is the idea.
Yeah, that
Ultimately.
if we uploaded to our shorts channel at all.
We do.
Yeah.
Last one was Carton Arc.
Well, no, okay, so the shorts channel is now the shorts for the main channel. So if you go to the main channel and go to the shorts, it's all uploaded there.
I got you. You're uploading
and
on the
we
same
have
channel.
all the new content linked in the community to the collaboratory channel.
Yeah.
And we can start putting all the community content in there.
That one channel.
Fuck yeah.
All your videos. We need to put your
Nice.
videos in there for your new music releases and shit. Yeah. No, it'll be dope.
So what the fuck are we talking about on this
So,
What
were
topics
there any
do
new
we
comments,
got today?
Oh, any new comments?
Uh,
Lame. Lame as fuck.
lame.
We should do we do a comment of the day or a comment of the pod?
We have been.
We have been?
getting
Yeah.
more comments.
I've been pondering picking up the YouTube game again and dusting off my
Channel.
YouTube, dusting off my channel like a
you
relic.
have a community of people around you that will support you in that.
I know, it's just like, for anyone that doesn't know, I live in a van, and the thought of like, hey, what's up, guys?
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, van life.
Yeah, there's a whole.
I
Yeah.
know, but I didn't want to do a YouTube thing specifically about van
You
life.
got to accept
No,
yourself.
from the van though. It doesn't have to be about the van life, but it's the fact that it's from the van.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be cool, but
Yeah.
it's more like any passerbys that are outside, like, what the fuck's he talking about? Homie's going off in there. It's like how I feel when I'm on call out in the van. It's like anybody that can like hear my voice from the van.
I don't think
No,
anybody
you've heard
can
me
hear
with
you.
the stethoscope outside of your van listening.
Yeah. He's like, oh, what's going on in there?
Eavesdropping.
Shit.
I just double checked. There's no new comments.
No new comments. So on
Like,
this
comment,
episode,
subscribe.
what kind
But
of
our
fucking
new episode just went up 10. We had technical difficulties.
yeah
So the new episode just
went up
10
as
minutes
this one as
before-
this is okay
Yeah, we
as this
got
is
it,
being
so.
recorded. Go check that out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One love. No, but what kind of fucking topics do we got on today's podcast?
So it's officially 2 weeks until the Palmer Squares are on
we
the
got
fucking podcast.
Fucking Palmer
So,
Squares.
Fucking stoked about that. We got to start promoting that on all of our socials hella hard.
Go
but
listen
yeah,
to their music.
I'm stoked.
They're
I've been
fire.
geeking the fuck out. I've been going through their whole catalog. I put together a whole like bunch of questions for them and shit. And then it got me on this like Chicago hip hop fucking like hyper fixation.
Yeah.
So I went through all the Chicago.
You know what you
fucking
got to do,
hip-hop.
Justin? You know what you're going to have to do? You know what a Chekhov's
Eat
gun
a
is?
dick.
You know what Chekhov's gun is? The literary device?
Oh no.
A Chekhov's gun is something that's announced at some point or spoken of. And because it was spoken of in the certain context, it has to happen later in the story. So the
Oh, yeah.
Chekhov's gun of Oppenheimer is watching the bomb go off. The Chekhov's gun right now is you throwing down a dope freestyle in front of the Palmer Squares.
Oh,
That would be sick
they've
as
been
fuck.
pressuring me.
If you take
We
the
brought it
time,
up first.
They've been pressuring
I bet
me.
you assholes will bring it up while they're there.
Yeah.
I will.
It's like, yeah.
It's not bad.
He
It's
might not be
bad.
platinum, but homie is pretty fucking good off the dome. Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah, I fuck around.
At least
I'm trying to,
gets the
but I am
silver.
trying to find out.
Yeah.
I am trying to find out. So I believe it too.
Diamond.
It has to happen.
Diamond.
It's like,
You only get one shot.
Oh yeah.
How about you get a function going? Everybody hitting spits of fire freestyle, bro.
I'm saying I'm up for whatever. I'm trying to get it. I want it to be a vibe. I want it to be a whole fucking hang. We're trying to. So I was talking to Taylor.
We got another favorite beer, their favorite strain. No.
Yeah, no, seriously though. No,
Laughing Buddha.
but as far as like reaching out to artists that have new albums and just getting their fucking permission to play their shit on the podcast.
Yeah.
Right? So we just bypass that because they're
shit.
independent. The Palmer Squares are independent. We could play
Right.
their music. I'm sure if I
Right.
reached out to them and were like, yo, can we play your shit on our fucking podcast? And just
It'd be
bypass
fire,
that.
yeah.
But it's like when you have to deal with labels and shit that it becomes a problem. Like, because, all the
All
licensing.
the fucking hoops, all the
Yeah.
shit you got to jump through. It gets annoying. But fuck yeah,
There's
bro.
2 copyrights. Like one on the original one the artist made, and then like the master.
One
that
on
the
top
label
of with the
makes.
label, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how fucking labels fuck artists is by owning the masters.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you are an artist, you want to own your own masters.
I want to get the skill so bad.
No.
I want to make music. I want to
Yeah.
make dope, like punk, rock, hip hop music, like some hybrid shit, because that shit goes
Well, you
crazy.
just spoke it, and so now what is that? It's a
Yeah,
fucking
when the Palmer
Chekhov's
Squares
Chekhov's
gun.
gun.
Motherfucker.
I'm at least trying
Putting
to
it out.
practice guitar.
Yeah,
It's
when
difficult.
the Palmer Squares are here, you're rapping too.
Oh, shit.
I can do it when I'm alone. I don't have that. Even like if it's my best friends, I don't have that confidence yet. I can't. What is it? I can't project.
Yeah.
When-
No, it's practice. I get it. Bro, I get it.
I can, like,
still
I can hit
can't
hella
fucking do
mumble
it full
bars.
on with confidence. Something about being in the car, though. Something about being in the car, I can just switch into a different mode.
I hate that motherfucker.
and it's like a
but
subconscious mode where I'm just like driving and fucking, it's crazy.
When
It's
full
weird.
karaoke's real,
Yeah.
especially when you're alone.
Yeah.
You're like you be putting your whole heart and soul into that shit.
Yeah.
What if we turn the set to look like a car while they're here?
Or you just get him in the
Do a
car and
whole
take him
ass-
around the
No,
block.
we do
Like, hold
the
on,
whole,
get
no,
in
we
real
do
quick.
the
Yeah.
Palmer
Do a whole
Squares
fucking
episode
drive sim,
out of his
like-
van.
I don't think there's enough space for that many people.
We can snuggle
That'd be
up.
fire, though.
Like
Yeah.
3 people.
Bro, it'd be like the fan bus.
Yeah.
3 people is like
bang
the
bus?
comfortable limit.
Yeah.
You can throw maybe
With
5
Palmer
people.
Squares.
Yeah, this
sure.
is the casting couch episode.
No, it's
Right.
not a black leather couch.
This is a heated blanket. Shit. Yeah.
It is.
It's not on.
plugged in, but
Oh.
No.
cozy as fuck.
I got a
yeah.
heated blanket recently. That shit has been golden.
Yeah.
Lifesaver.
Yeah, bro.
Hell yeah.
No, and it doesn't even take that much power, so I can just have it on. Like I go get some water, come back, and I can snuggle up. That shit's so nice. It's so dope. Get yourself a heated blanket or a weighted blanket. Both are amazing.
Or a
Weighted
weighted
blanket.
heated blanket.
They
But
do
aren't
exist.
heated blankets
Yeah.
weighted just naturally because they have the
I
extra
have a
shit
super
in them?
thin one. It's
Okay.
got like the wires coming through.
Is
I
it
don't know.
kind
I
of
don't
like
like
an
being held
underblanket?
down. That shit makes me feel claustrophobic as
Is
fuck.
it-
I don't
It's
is
a
want.
snuggly thing.
Is your heated blanket kind of like one that you'd put under your normal blanket just to kind of insulate?
under or
like,
over? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you throw a
like
blanket
those
on top.
thin, like a thin ass one. Like back in the day, they used to just get fuzzy. They'd get like all pilly and weird. They were like that cheap. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I know what you're
That
talking
cheap
about.
ass, like, I don't know if it was
one.
like felt or what. Or yeah, but that shit was
Start
lame. As
showing through.
It'd have like the low quality.
Like, how is this
pillow
not
filling.
a fire hazard? And if it does catch on fire, you're just gonna be like
No,
wrapped
that's-
in melted plastic.
That's how I've always felt with them. It's like I can't sleep comfortably knowing
Knowing
I'm plugged
that,
in
yeah.
to the wall.
That's why I turn it down
You're
to like
something about this
its
just
lowest
isn't fucking
setting.
natural. Like, am I really about to do this? Like, am I gonna cook myself in the middle of the night? Like, like the hot dogs in the fucking under the light in the hot
Right.
case. They're just sweating, glistening.
Right. Exactly.
Like, is
can't-
this really worth this being on my tombstone? Like, is this gonna be like death by electric blanket? blanket.
No,
That's
hell
what's gonna be
no,
written.
bro.
I want to die in like a cool way. You know, I want to die in a cool way. Like
Go wingsuiting.
Imagine dying on a toilet, taking a shit.
Michael Jackson has a child named Blanket. Wouldn't it be cool if he changed his name to
You don't want to.
Electric?
You don't want to pull an Elvis Presley and just like mess shit it out. You know,
Electric
like
Blanket. Artist formerly known as Blanket.
Yeah. But hold on. How do you want to die, though?
How do I want to die? In
Bro,
battle?
Good
suggestion.
subject.
In battle?
Suggestion with the wingsuit. At least you have a helmet on. Just saying.
Why are you wearing a helmet and a wingsuit?
In
Yeah.
the midst of battle, fighting for what is right.
Pull the comedy gold
I
and
wanna
get a
take a sword
parachute
to
full
the
of spoon
chest.
and forks.
A sword?
Yeah, they
A
don't call it
sword to the
terminal
chest.
velocity for nothing.
I want to make it to like 95 and then just do a shit ton of heroin.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah.
You want to OD?
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a long nap.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like, fuck it, I made it this far. Might as
What's-
well.
what's a better
Going out
drug?
on top.
I feel like that would be a nightmare though. You gotta
No,
pick
you
a
just
better
fall
drug.
asleep.
Yeah, you just fall asleep.
You just
and then
feel
you're
the-
dead.
Well, I say you do weeks of other drugs and then end it
Well,
with that.
yeah. I'm just saying the actual death part. I want to just, but before
Yeah.
that, fuck it. If I make it past 90, it's like, well, fuck it. We're running it to the ground now.
So I know a death doula. Do you know what a doula? You know what a doula is? Yeah. So I know a death doula, and so what she does is she helps people like with the end of life journey. And
Yeah.
like in other states, they're using mushrooms and like ketamine and other things to help
Okay.
people, like, you know, just
Okay.
process it.
Don't use this information. This is purely informational.
Look at the camera.
If you
when
want.
Yeah.
This is purely informational. Disclaimer. Can we get a disclaimer on screen? Don't use this information.
No.
What do you mean? It's purely informational, but don't
Purely-
use it.
Yeah. You,
All right. Just
you
say it.
need to get helium, a trash bag, and a belt. You're gonna pump. You're gonna
Don't do it,
take
but you need
the
to.
helium pump into
Helium. You're
yeah.
helium.
up into the bag. Put the bag around your head with the belt around your neck to have it air seal. I recommend having Bluetooth earbuds.
Is helium just something that like
It's
any
a
person
painless-
can get
it's a-
access to? Is that why? Is it's not like
it's
a
it's
restricted?
It's a painless asphyxia. So instead of suffocating, it's a more painless suffocating.
Yeah, that's like people put their fucking exhaust
Are you
up to
talking
their
for suicide?
to their
Yeah.
car window,
Oh,
and they
okay.
just fall asleep in their car with their exhaust piped into their fucking window.
Yeah.
Oh no, hell no. Maybe,
I would say, okay, we were talking about the heroin, right? Why not go out on heroin and take the G-Force roller coaster?
I thought you were gonna say a rhino pill.
You take a rhino pill, do some heroin, then go on the constant G-Force roller coaster, bro.
So was it last episode we were talking about how they were jacking off the dead fucking Israelis to fucking get the cum out of them so that
What
they could
the fuck are you talking
so that they
about?
could artificially inseminate and like their lineage could go on. So there's literally people jacking off soldiers because it's a what did you explained it's a spinal reaction. Yeah. It's like the reason that that Stephen Hawking could get a fucking boner and fuck chicks even though he was like totally handicapped. He had kids while he was
Well, yeah.
There was women that fucked him while he was completely immobile.
Bro, that's instant high IQ. What do you mean? Like,
No, do you think they were like hopping up on the? Were they
Yeah.
wheelchair riding?
Yes.
Were they wheelchair riding? Like,
absolutely.
Definitely.
That
or were they
bad.
like hit doggy style, like turning around, just sitting on
homie
his lap?
be looking into his
They ride
camera
him around the
translator
whole
like,
house.
yes.
Were they were trying
Yes.
to get a good
Out
grade.
here
Yes.
doing donuts
He
and
had a
shit.
brother like Funk that could help
Harder.
push his hips.
Can you imagine he's just
He's
in, like,
looking into the
fucking
translation
living room?
camera. So wet. Yes. Like,
So
No, Family Guy made fun of him.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
like
oh
two
my-
cripples
yeah,
doing it.
No, and they showed the wheelchairs side by side on the fucking bed.
God damn it.
Like, how did they get the wheelchairs on the bed? Like, that's my question.
Dude, could you imagine just her riding him and he's just
Yes.
out here doing
Yes.
fucking wheelchair,
Don't
like
stop.
donuts in a
Don't
fucking
stop. I
wheelchair in
am-
the living room? Like, yes, just donuts.
I mean, if Stephen Hawking was like, if he could be there for like 2050, they're gonna have sex simulations. Homie could have like been fully able and doing it, and then doing wheelies on his wheelchair in the simulation. Yes.
All people in wheelchairs have rolling orgasms when they come.
Yeah.
Yes.
God damn it. Yes.
We were talking about rolling orgasms last week and how like
Bro.
like you're not doing your job if you're not fucking taking it there, right? Like, what's the point? Are you just masturbating with somebody else's sex parts, or like, are you down for the fucking
How
experience? You know
old
what
were
I'm
you
saying?
When you realized, how old were you when you realized men could squirt?
Okay, so we could talk masturbation. I started masturbating when I was like 3.
Different.
No,
Hold
listen. And so I masturbated differently when I was younger than I did like when I got to middle school. But I was probably 11 or 12 the first time something came out. When it like, I was like, yeah, I was probably like 11 or 12 when it first fucking like, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, that's what that is.
So
Yeah.
basically, it's like an exacerbated pre-cum. That's all it is. But it's a lot. It's like about the same
What the fuck
volume.
are we talking about?
And he said men
Male
squirting.
You know you can squirt?
You're talking pre-cum.
Yeah, but it's like an
Yeah, if you're an edger and you've held it and let it fucking build, the pre-cum will fucking.
the best tactic, lick your palm and rub it really fast on the tip. For what? Because it feels good.
What do you mean?
No, some people don't experiment with masturbation at all. Like
I
I've talked
heard
about
about it, and
different
I'm like,
techniques.
what the fuck?
That does not seem pleasurable.
No,
He's like, no, you just give it
right, No, right in like this dimple
I talked
right
about
here,
I
you
talked
lick it
about
and you-
palming. Nobody here was
and
down with the palming.
Go.
Nobody here was down with the knobbing or the over under.
I was.
I like to call it the over under.
I haven't done the over under. I've palmed it. I've made.
You should ask the
you
Palmer
done
squares. if they're in it.
God
No,
damn it.
okay, so they've talked about it, and I've fucking
What's your
had that
grip?
thought. But like, there's dope people that they just didn't fucking get on because their name like nerfed them. It fucking you know, like my example was Joey Badass.
Like,
And Joey Badass is literally badass. But that name
he still has
is,
millions of monthly listeners.
I know, but like
You
He
just
nerfed
don't like the
himself.
name.
no, he's talked about it. He's made references to it in songs about how people have like suggested that he should change his name or he'd, you know, whatever. I don't know. I feel it is
Your
true.
shit's
I'd
retarded.
say an opposite example of that is like Chasey the illest. Because he legitimately is one of the illest. Homie came up out of nowhere.
That sounds dope.
That's why I'm saying an opposite example.
Yeah, Joey Badass
Yeah.
sound badass.
I
don't
feel
know.
like
But
it flows off
Chasey
the
the
tongue.
illest sounds dope as fuck, and I'd fuck with that.
Yeah, I don't know who this is, but I do recommend a better name.
Well,
Joey
also,
Badass?
He spells
Yeah.
it on usernames and shit with $2 for the S's. I'm like, you're
that
gonna
makes
have
me
a
think
shitty
of like a
fucking
I'm
name
not
and
gonna
then
lie,
that wants to get
$signs
away with
too.
When
using
I
a
first-
bad word
when I
in
first-
his name.
Yeah,
You're
it's
like,
fucking dumb.
yeah.
When I first stumbled across Joey Badass, when I saw the $signs, it kind of like shunned me away because I was like, ugh,
Dollar
like
signs,
what are you
it's,
doing
it's
with
the
the
same
dollar
reason
signs?
that you use a
Cringe.
V instead.
Cringe.
It did kind of cringe me
Yeah.
out, but then later on, I was going on like my whole rap hip hop journey, and I was listening to more of his music because he had a bunch of features, and homie really is badass. It just took a minute for me to get used to it.
He is fire. I've heard him with he's collaborated.
The name does nerf, but
Yeah.
it,
Well, and I kind of feel
regardless.
that way with the Palmer Squares because they had a previous name. It was because there's an old group from Chicago.
was it, like Rat
called
something?
the Typical Cats.
Typical
and they,
Cats.
No, and so as like an homage to that, they came out with the Ordinary Dogs. Right? It's all right, but they're legitimately dope as fuck. And
You're
I feel
right.
like people are like Palmer Squares. Like, what the fuck is a Palmer Square? Like, it doesn't
It
register.
sounds like a dessert.
What kind of dessert?
They're,
The pre-cum? Are you talking some exacerbated pre-cum?
Junkyard Samurai, their collaboration
I
shit.
saw what y'all did to that pumpkin pie
I just
too.
wish that was just their name. I wish they had just gone with Junkyard Samurai. Like when they
What?
started using
Junkyard Samurai is dope.
I know, and when they started using it for their collaboration shit, I'm like, man,
Yeah, no, it's fire.
you mean
I
you
fuck
guys
with it.
could come up with good ass names, and then this is what we got?
you know what the fuck is the pumpkin thing?
like
I
the end of the
don't
whipped
know.
cream, the end of the whipped cream, and we had to drizzle on the whole pie, and it just was just not. It was just not it.
I didn't. Robert did that though.
You know,
It worked. I got whipped
There
cream.
was- I
Everybody
know,
got whipped cream.
But you know what I'm talking about. It was exacerbated pre-cum. Like that's
Okay, I get it. All right.
it like wasn't a full
All right,
load.
bud.
It wasn't.
That's all that was left, my man. It's just like wasn't much to it. Like
So, talking about volume, right?
Volume.
So Tom Segura talks about having like a legendary. Even his wife confirms, like, yeah, when he comes, it's like. But I'm like, how?
I gotta
she's
get on
so
that
big.
Jeremy pack. Jeremy
how-
had a chemical substance that could shoot loads. And
Yeah.
we
That's
gotta
a
test
lie,
it.
across
bro.
the room.
We gotta.
He's like, no, 11 feet all day.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking
All
about.
day.
I'm not talking about the distance. I'm talking about the volume.
Yeah.
Because he said there was a substance you could take for volume, and I'm not gonna like. What's the word? Like,
If there's
I'm not
anything
gonna,
I've eaten that makes me think of that, it's okra, and I don't like the
Okra?
texture of okra in my
Yeah,
mouth.
it's like
slimy
it's
as
like
fuck.
eating nuts,
Oh,
bro.
I'm like, I've never
the
had.
fuck?
Look, I've never had cum in my mouth, but I imagine it's like
you
eating
have.
okra.
Wait, no, you're lying to the
No,
whole pod.
not
You
like-
tasted
I've
it.
tasted
Had
my
cum in your mouth.
I've tasted
fella.
my no.
What are you talking about? No,
I've tasted. Hold on, but I've never had a mouthful of cum. I've had
Yeah,
a
you
little
haven't
bit. Like I
taken a
would literally
bukkake.
like. I literally when I tasted my own cum, I
it
was just like,
saturated your saliva. That sounds like a mouthful to me. I mean,
no, but like okra's slippery and slimy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what I imagine. And so like,
what
I'm
about
just
the
not-
okra in the freezer? Like, no, it hasn't been touched in how many months? Like, nobody.
Can we fry that up?
I'd
Dude,
be
you
down.
can do
It's just-
whatever you want with
Yeah.
the okra. I
Nobody
don't
wants
fuck with
the
it
okra.
at all.
Nobody wants it.
You
It's
just need to
sit-
season
I'm
it
surprised
right.
it's still
Ethan,
even there.
let's invite
it's
Robert
been
over.
there for several months.
Let's invite Robert over and we can
Robert
eat
could
our
probably
okra.
do it up.
He
Yeah.
loves okra.
I trust.
He
I trust.
introduced me.
I trust Robert Bobby Man with
Very
the okra.
It's like one of
Fascinating.
those things that I've tried and tried because people are like liver. Some people love liver. They fucking
Okay,
love
not
it.
to like when we went to Flavor Town though. Their okra was not bad. Like it wasn't my favorite, but for my first time having it, like it wasn't like a bad
The
experience.
rest
I
of
wasn't
that entire
displeased.
restaurant was garbage. Though.
It was. I don't know.
The lemonade was
where we got the
That
fucking
lemonade-
Okra
Oh,
that you talked-
Fire.
the Southern Kitchen.
Yeah, Flavor
Oh,
Town.
yeah.
yeah, just
Flavor Town. Yeah.
Got bone-in chicken
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Bone
Who
and
does
chicken
that?
sandwich is wild.
Bone in. They put a whole thigh.
If
just
you guys
on some
ever
white
go,
bread.
what's that? What's
Okay.
that intersection? What's that six lane intersection called?
the food
Six
quality is the quality of this
Mimos, yeah.
bong.
Mimos.
Where
Yeah.
you're really going for something and you just miss.
Just like that
This is
bong.
like a
Rick.
bone-in chicken sandwich.
Yeah, like it's kind of like a chicken sandwich, but you just fucking
just-
missing it.
I wanna
This-
like
this-
it, too.
I hate this thing.
I want to.
because
You
it's
want to
dark.
like it,
I
but it
don't.
doesn't. It doesn't meet your
I
expectations.
think that's probably why I hate it. Because like even the way they tried to do shadow right here was they just put brown over
Yeah,
the.
it's just
What
whack.
is happening? Like the
What
most
is that-
on model thing they got was this glalie, which still. I mean, it's a circle
All right.
with a
if,
face.
If anybody
I think that's
listening
supposed to be a parasite,
is
but I'm not
based
sure.
in Tacoma, and you kind of like you go through Tacoma for food. If you know that one like 5-lane intersection with Mamos, Country Kitchen, Jack in a Box,
It's like
fuck that
6
Jack in a
and
Box,
Sprague, I
and
think.
fuck that Country Kitchen, bro. They put bones in the chicken sandwich.
I'm
They
the one who got the chicken sandwich.
he got the chicken
I
sandwich.
bit into it.
I had
Hold
the
the
most.
microphone over.
I feel
No,
so bad. I had the
legit
most
bread.
immaculate experience there ever. I got their raspberry or blackberry lemonade. Amazing. I tried their fried okra. It was like pretty decent, edible. And then I had
Mid.
their what?
Mid.
It was mid, but I never had okra before. It wasn't too bad. And then I got their biscuits and gravy. You can't really fuck that up. It was good. Everybody else though had a miserable experience.
If you fuck up biscuits and gravy, you need to
to my
auto
piece of
euthanize
chicken.
immediately.
yeah.
I bit
You
into
need to
my
get a
chicken
bag of helium
sandwich.
and a belt and put that shit over your head.
Bro.
I bit into my sandwich and got stabbed in the mouth by not only a sharp bone, but a burning hot sharp bone.
Bro.
So it was like insult to injury. Not only did it burn up the roof of my mouth,
How
but
they
it
gonna
also cut it.
It was a thigh too.
Yeah, they
That's
just-
like insult to injury. They put a thigh in between two slices
like,
of
Bro, it's like
bread.
a
It's
too
chicken.
literal person made a chicken
They didn't even
sandwich.
fry
They're
it
like
with
a sandwich is
seasoning.
just
The
chicken
seasoning was
between
just,
two
like,
pieces of bread.
loosely
Guys, how was
sprinkled
the
on top.
Cajun? How was the
Literally like
Cajun
Wonder Bread.
What was it? Cajun chicken or
Yeah,
Cajun
and the
steak?
Cajun chicken was just a chicken tender with some fucking Cajun seasoning from Walmart just sprinkled on
Yeah.
top. And they're like, here you go.
Yeah, on our way out, I didn't realize instead of barbecue, it said garbage queue.
Yeah.
Anyways, anybody going through Tacoma, if you live out there, just Memos.
Go across
we
the
support it.
street.
Go
Yeah.
across the street. If you see Country
to
Kitchen,
any
don't even
other-
give it a
It's
second.
Southern Kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Southern
If
Kitchen.
you're out that way and you see Southern Kitchen, turn right around and go to the better restaurant across the street.
Or
Go
the
to
Greek
Memos.
place. The Greek place next door. Go anywhere but there. It's
What are they called? Something.
It's Greek to me.
Yeah,
Greek to me.
it's Greek to me.
10 out of 10 Greek food. I
Yeah.
never had Greek food before
give
we
'em
went
a
there.
9.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Again, I've never had Greek food, so I
Garlic
can't base it
Crash
on
in
anything.
Bellevue.
Their
is
fries
insane.
aren't really that good, but everything else, like I never had a gyro
Yeah,
before.
their
I had,
gyros are so
I had a
good.
lamb gyro. That shit was immaculate. It was fucking good. I tried their pizza. It wasn't too bad. They're fucking good. Greek to me is amazing. Memos is fire.
And it's so
I
inexpensive.
will say I got
Kitchen.
cartwheeled there though.
Oh, with their sauce.
Bro,
The
I
Greek
ordered the
salad?
same thing as
Nay.
him.
Nay
and
save with the Greek salad.
The chick recommended chicken bacon. I was like, oh yeah, chicken bacon gyro. That sounds delicious.
It does
right?
sound
No,
delicious.
Honey mustard.
Oh,
Honey mustard on my
It
fucking
was all
gyro.
runny too.
I took
Yeah,
a
it
bite
was
out
just
of
like
this.
dripping
No,
everywhere. I got
world
one.
destroying.
Yeah.
It was world destroying. I wanted to tear that whole fucking place apart. I was losing my mind. I'm like, why is there honey mustard in my mouth right now?
Eating a
what
burger
the
with no
fuck
honey mustard?
is
Eating
this?
eating a gyro with no honey mustard.
Yeah.
Bro,
Hey, gyro, by the way.
and look. Okay, yeah, I just literally I had a moment
That doesn't
where
make any sense.
It cartwheeled me so fucking hard.
Gyro or euro?
No. Why does
Why
Greek
does
place
it
even have
honey mustard? It's
Yeah.
not Greek whatsoever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that Arby's commercial. They're like, "What kind of sheep is a beef?"
Right.
They're like, "What
No,
the fuck is honey mustard?"
They had their
Get out of my
salads,
face.
and I wanted to go full Greek, so I tried their Greek salad, and the dressing is just like oil and herbs, and it just kind of taints the whole experience. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's the flavor is foreign. It doesn't have any kind of sustenance to
I've
it, and it
tasted
just
a taint.
yeah,
What was
right.
that?
It
Remember the lady that
It
let
was
us have a
tainted.
bite of her food, and it came in like a
it
leaf?
was amazing.
Whatever that little leaf thing was.
yeah,
It was a grape leaf, and then some sort of meat, cheese, and so I don't know. It was fucking good though.
That's tasty.
She was humble as fuck. That lady was nice. Meat,
Yeah.
cheese, and
Okay,
sauce.
But it was
So-
wrapped up in a grape leaf like a little sushi.
yeah.
it
She was
tasted
like a
good.
350 pounder, and
She didn't need no more.
She ordered so much food. Like she ordered food for a whole family of people, and it was just her and one other person. So I mean,
You're
I-
fucked up, but that
that's
lady
fact.
is legit.
Was that was not what that was? Am I lying? Is that
You're not lying, but it's
there was enough food
come
there
on, man.
for
come on, man.
like a family of people, and so but no, I'm not. And so she was
She
just
did us
generous
a
and
nice
offered
deed,
her,
yeah.
her extra, but she could have kept it and fucking.
You didn't need to
but she
say all
did
that,
it.
man. Come on, man.
I
Bro,
was-
like when we left the legendary donuts and we see this lady walking out of there with 2 dozen.
Oh,
and
no.
they were just for her. She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna spoil myself this weekend."
Spoil myself.
Yeah, I was
It
about to do that.
She was ordering
Yeah.
enough donuts for a fucking a company
company
party.
no, that's
meeting.
online somewhere.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, bro.
Like legit ordering 2 dozen donuts.
I'm not gonna lie. I was about to get a whole dozen of Winko donuts. They're not the best, but I was gonna eat that shit to myself. But they were Winko donuts.
Winco.
Fuck you. I don't give a shit.
Wanko.
You ain't gonna asterisk me here. Fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
But
Winko.
But anyways,
Let's go
The
down.
Winko.
Twinko. Let's go
I
to
showed
Twinko,
my
guys.
brother John and my niece our episode last time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she was saying like, "Man, that's hilarious. The dress barn. Like, I never knew they were called Moo Moo. Or I knew they were called Moo Moos, but I didn't put the connection.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, bro.
Language is funny that way.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck are you gonna let people get away?
How big was that lady getting the donuts? The
Big enough for a moo.
too big enough for a moo moo?
No, like she has a membership at Dress Barn. Let's just put it that way. She's a card
Not
carrying
gonna lie, I was about to pull out like
barbarian.
that lady though, for real. How much do you think she spent on those donuts? I'm about to spoil
Okay.
myself. 300? Like
No,
I bet
no.
she gets a discount.
It's donuts.
She gets a discount.
No, you know,
but like
the
a
dozen
Legendary's
dealer
expensive. Like a whole dozen's
always
like
gives you a
$50.
deal. You
A
keep
dozen
coming
donuts
back.
at Legendary Donuts is $24.
Oh,
Yes.
they're cheaper now?
So that was $50 in donuts that she was taking home to handle solo. She was going on a solo commission.
My
for
acid
2
reflux
dozen
is
donuts.
crying
The
right now,
solo
bro. Like that
sesh.
shit is crazy.
You know, she was putting on sad movies, fucking busting out
my bad.
the dildo.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is she stacking them up on it? Is she like playing ring toss with her toys?
To choose which one. Bonus points for the one with the
do
suction.
they still do the Homer donut, the massive Homer
Yes.
donut? They still do.
They still do.
I
yeah.
want to try it because
It's
it's
a-
just
Dope.
It's a birthday cake. They offer the Homer donut as they do have like an individual one, but they offer the giant.
Kinda
it's
like the-
legitimately.
you know
a
like
birthday
the loop,
cake donut.
the big loop, kind of like that, but like as a donut.
Yeah,
it's
just
like
a big ass donut.
Okay, not gonna lie though, they got a donut called the Oprah on some
Oprah.
disrespectful shit. It's a
Yeah.
Snickers. Do you know what a cronut is? It's a mix between a croissant and a donut. It's a Snickers cronut.
Wow.
Fucking hilarious.
That
And
is
it's called
funny
the
as fuck.
Oprah.
Have you guys been to Voodoo?
She is fat.
Yeah.
I have not, but I've been wanting to go. I've
You
heard
got
they're
it.
I have.
You
yeah.
have been.
I have.
Yes. When we
When?
went down to Oregon.
Oh, that was a long ass time
Yes.
ago.
You were young.
I was
Yeah.
young.
Yeah, when Oregon was nice.
When
Yeah.
Oregon
Portland.
was nice. No.
Yeah.
No, I lived
Oregon.
in Portland
So
for 3 years.
I was there recently
during
when I went on
COVID.
my cross country trip with my step grandma or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, they have a shit ton of pot shops out there. Like I'm
Oh, yeah.
talking like
Everywhere.
every block is a pot
Yeah.
shop. It's fucking
No,
crazy.
it's
No,
way,
there's a
way less
corner-
regulated there than it is here.
Yeah.
There's a
And
corner
there's no
in
sales tax.
in downtown Portland where there's a pot shop
A pot shop.
below a pot. There's an upstairs pot shop, and then downstairs there's
That's
a pot.
awesome.
They're like
That's
stacking
fucking
them out
awesome.
there.
Driving
No,
past.
my grandma was baffled. She's like, "There's a lot of pot out here."
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
You
Insane.
should try some.
I should
Yeah.
try some.
She should.
She should.
Could you imagine?
Dude, the area around that main one,
be
like the
awesome.
first
Coming
Voodoo
from the
that
same
opened,
guy
the
that's
one in
like, you should-
downtown.
you should
there,
slide
the
down a
area
gummy.
around
Little
that
sketchy
is
there.
trash.
Is that what you were
yeah.
saying? Slide
I drove
down a-
past it.
a
It looks
gummy?
like
You
Mad
said
Max.
that.
Recently?
Yeah, it was like
okay,
a couple
yeah.
weeks ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
wild.
But
no, it's
so I went
always
to the
been a
other
little
one.
sketchy around there.
But they also believe in the Sasquatch, and it's like every corner there's also Sasquatch like merch there as well. It's fucking
That's
hilarious.
Washington though. Have you gone to like a tourist shop anywhere in Washington? It's
More
Sasquatch.
so in Oregon though. I'm gonna be honest. I went to like 3 shops and there wasn't a single one. I didn't see like a figure, a sticker, or like a little like keychain. Still, it's wild out there.
Yeah.
We do got that
Have
in
you
here
been
in
to
Washington.
the redwood
though.
forest though?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Not
Northern
since I was a
California?
kid. I want to go.
I don't think I've been.
We had to
I
go
created an
down through
itinerary
there.
for an epic trip down the fucking 101 and like to
yeah.
Yosemite, the redwoods,
Does
all
it
that.
does
the
it
dunes.
connect to fucking what is it? We're in Utah.
the Badlands or
Badlands? No, Moab.
Moab.
Yeah, you should add Moab
Yeah.
in there too.
Oh, yeah.
I went there one time.
Look, if you guys want to add to it and we could do this epic
That would be
journey.
fire.
I think-
Could we do the?
We got a
road trip
RV.
episode?
Yeah.
No, we need to go skydiving. I feel like
Cross country.
I
Stone
got
Ape
spoiled.
series.
I got spoiled a little bit. Got to go skydiving. Thought I was gonna die. I feel like everybody else needs to experience that because I was
I've been skydiving,
losing my
yeah.
fucking mind.
But where you did it was way cooler than where I did
Were you
it.
terrified? Were you terrified for
Dude,
your
I
life?
blacked out.
You
when
blacked out,
Yeah.
bro. Oh my god, no! I'm falling down.
Legit,
I'm
you
like,
blacked
oh my
out?
god.
Oh my god.
Oh my
No,
god.
I
I'm
let
gonna
go
die.
of the plane, was just like, oh god.
Were you going? Were you
I'm
going?
probably gonna black out.
But then I
I
woke up
promise.
staring
I'm
at the
probably gonna
chute,
black out.
like, what the fuck?
Did it
And I was
automatically
like, oh,
release,
yeah.
or were you tandem?
No, I trained all day so I could go solo for my 18th birthday.
God, and did it automatically release the chute? or
Yeah,
did
it was
you
attached to
release?
the plane.
Okay.
As we jumped out.
Okay, so
But-
the moment you jumped out, you were shooting.
But it
Oh.
opens like 90% of it. But then you grab the handles and it opens
Oh
the
my
rest.
God! So you really
then-
had a near-death experience.
I mean,
not
I don't think
really,
so,
but like,
but-
Have
damn.
you seen? It's kind of a sad clip, but there's a clip of a guy and his parachute's bundled up and he's trying to yank it and he just goes like this.
Which one?
Oh,
Wait,
no,
I've
watched-
seen
I'll-
three.
Let me show his mannerism. He's like, and then he just falls. He just like accepted it. And he's like, all right. And
Did
then
he
just
survive?
relaxed. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the same clip. It's the one where he's fucking frustrated and he has to take out his knife. He's like, fuck you. And they has to take out his knife and cut one of them
I'm
loose
talking the one
just to let it open.
where he just like accepts it and just.
You mean where the dude died?
Accepts.
No.
Yeah.
Was he like in a death spiral, like going?
No, he was following, and his parachute was bundled up like a ball, and he was trying to yank it out and like rearrange.
No backup.
No.
Homie's had no backup.
That's wild.
Was it? I'm pretty sure it might have been pre-backup.
Bro, I
Like,
saw one where a
those-
dude was trying to do fireworks, and it literally caught him on fire and fucked up his parachute.
No, dumb.
And he had to
You're
like
dumb.
cut himself loose
Dumb.
and then pull his emergency.
That's crazy.
Darwin Award.
Darwin Award. Yep.
Yeah, fireworks.
Instant
and
Darwin
parachute.
Oh man.
Like,
But like, that can't be anywhere
Bro,
near
that's
as
a way to
terrifying.
go. You just offer that at the
yeah,
senior
that's
center.
how you go, Ethan.
Roman candles and parachutes.
Damn,
you just have a
bro.
Roman candle fight trying to take people out of their parachute.
That is fucked up, bro. Like Hunger Games, aerial Hunger Games, bro. That's fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
I was thinking more of like you Roman candle your own parachute to
That'd be
your
a very
death.
fun way to do public executions.
Jesus.
It's fucking crazy.
And if you survive, you get away. Like,
No, I mean you still got to go back to jail, I guess. But I guess then you get
Yeah.
off death row. Like,
Damn.
if you survive, like
You survive,
good
you
luck
try
to-
again next time.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video where they're trying to rescue this old lady in the helicopter?
oh, and
they
it
pick
starts
her up-
spinning.
Bro,
She died.
No way.
She died. Yeah. It did.
What?
She lost. Not only did she lose circulation to her brain,
Because
but she
it
died.
spun her dead.
Yep.
That's like the fucking auto euthanization
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
fucked up.
Speaking of helicopters,
what?
Talking about the.
I thought he wanted me to start twirling my dick around. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's like,
hell
speaking
no,
of
bro.
helicopter. I'm like, what are you talking? No, so
It's a show.
we brought
Share with the class.
Weapons of mass destruction to
Yeah.
the class.
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of
brought a
loads-
weapon of
And you
ass
get a dick pic.
destruction.
And you get a dick pic.
Yeah. No. So one of our clients gave us this fucking round, and this is a dummy round out of a fucking what did he say?
It is a full metal jacket armor
It's those
piercing round.
Massive fucking helicopter.
Is it the Tomahawk? Is what he?
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
Or is it the
something
Black
like that,
Hawk?
yeah.
Or the Black?
No,
My
it's
bad.
not
Black
the-
Hawk.
It's not the Black Hawk. Yeah, the BBC. No.
News.
Yeah, BBC News. BBC News. We got all the updates on the newest, biggest, blackest cocks.
God damn it.
To the minute update.
Yeah.
No,
How
I think
mad
it was.
do you
I think
the
it said
people at
Tomahawk.
BBC were when that started to become
Yeah.
popular.
No, it was
Right.
legit a thing. It was legit a thing online
Oh
because
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Forever.
yeah.
yeah, because like imagine the people that have to do SEO.
Yeah.
No,
No, I'm
there's
sure.
BBW, BBM.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm sure the person who like founded it,
WNBC.
yeah.
first person they told to, were like, oh yeah, starting this like media company, calling it BBC, and they're like, you calling it what now?
Yeah.
You know what else that stands for? I'm
God
like,
damn
no,
it.
I don't. Could you tell me? I'm
Anyways,
like,
that round is.
Look at this motherfucker though.
Yeah,
it's
that
heavy
would
as
kill
fuck.
We were
buddy.
thinking about sending it
Bro,
to
can you
Palestine
imagine?
to
Like you've
even
seen
the
when
scores.
people get shot with a regular bullet and their head explodes. Like you imagine.
You mean the
this
dummies?
is like you imagine like the last thing. This is a real fucking round though.
Yeah.
I know.
Like
but
even though
they
it's
took
not
the
an explosive
explosive
round.
out of it.
Yeah, but can you
they
imagine
never
like
put
that's
it
the
in
last
it,
thing
yeah.
you see? Just boom.
Yeah, you wouldn't even
And like
see
your
it.
head would just explode.
There is no seeing.
Yeah.
I think
They no
You
frame
wouldn't
rate.
even
Like
get
you
to-
couldn't even register.
You wouldn't
it.
even get to hear the sound. It would be silent, and then you die, and then it's like. That is
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Or like, have you seen the videos of the gelatin test dummies getting shot with
Oh,
a
yeah.
cannonball and
Oh,
shit?
yeah.
And
What
just,
is it? Forged in Fire, that one show where they make the blades and they test it on the dummy. It will
I was
kill.
watching that last
Tomorrow,
night.
man.
It will
Legitimately
kill.
watching that shit last night.
I
yeah,
love that
it
that
will
became
kill.
his catchphrase.
Oh,
Like it was
there's
just
there's Forged in Fire, and then there's like blown away.
What are
It's
you
a
watching?
glass. It's a glass blowing show, but the name for it is just
And they have
so
sex
wild.
with glass.
Yeah, they hot glass molten,
No,
like
wow.
right out the kiln.
you should
bro.
watch that.
I have all of it. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie, but
You're
the-
about to be in that.
Were you
They
blown
had
away?
some
I
wacky
was-
fucking
bro, I
people on
was-
that one.
blown away for real. I'm not gonna lie.
You were sucking cock while
Did
you were
you-
watching it.
I was getting
Did you
sucked. You know?
masturbate?
No,
While
unfortunately,
watching? Oh, okay.
I was being masturbated.
never-
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
You haven't been blown away, like
No, I definitely. But I've never just like
Like,
casually
okay, like,
watched
are you
TV
getting
while I
like
was, like getting topped
Why not?
off?
are you getting like blown away? Or are you like getting
like you're
blown?
I've never
away?
done
You gotta
it,
eat a
dude.
sandwich. And
Like I've
fucking
casually
watch
masturbated
TV.
while I watched
Thought-
TV.
You're saying I'm sucking cock, but I'm like getting like blown away, like I'm getting blown so hard. It's like
the motion
I get it,
was
yeah.
in your mouth.
I know.
Okay. The thought of car head scares me.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel like I'd crash if I was getting car head. I don't think I could like focus on driving and get head at the same time.
It's not all it's
It's
cracked
not
up to
that
be.
bad.
Yeah, but
I
it's
mean,
not all
it's not
cracked
But
up.
are you nutting?
distracting.
Have you nutted while driving?
Survival
Is the
instinct.
question.
It's a little awkward though, right? Because like
Yeah.
I'm a big fella, so I got this gut that's in.
That's
the,
why they
so I
have
gotta put
adjustable
the-
steering wheels.
I know, but I got to put the steering wheel up and the seat all the way back, and I can barely reach the fucking pedals when I'm like that, right? So
Hey,
now,
Justin.
Now I'm out here riding dirty, right? I'm
Riding around an Aruba.
You fit ahead in here now.
If it's the offside's over.
Hey, Justin, was this recent?
No.
God damn it.
No, because it's like hot tub sex, right? If you've had hot tub sex,
Or
you've
in
got
the
road
road.
head.
I almost had hot tub
When
sex.
you're getting roadhead, it's like, man, if you go over a bump, there's sharp shit. It like I can't even. Nah, it's not for me. Roadhead is just isn't. Nah.
You got to be a masochist for
But
that for real.
getting
Like,
getting a blowjob by
on
the,
this-
like the in the forest or by the river.
yeah.
or-
Dope.
That's dope. But driving,
Forest
round in
sex.
a Rova? No.
yeah,
Forest
round in a
sex is
robot.
dope.
What?
Forest sex.
Yeah.
It's dope. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Catch a sunrise or a sunset. Yeah. Go to Pound Town. Light
Dude,
some candles.
I used to be a
Go to
bit of an
Pound Town.
exhibitionist. I like to fuck in public.
Yeah.
Nice.
No. I've jerked off to Mother Nature many
Nice, like-
times. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
What?
Me too. Hashtag me too.
What is it? Waldo Emerson.
Was
Ralph
it like?
Waldo
Was
Emerson
it? Did
talks
you
about
did you do like a hole in the
song
ground,
of
or
my
was there a
soul?
hole in the
No.
tree, or
No,
like?
Hole on
no.
the ground.
And he talks
Come
about
on,
spreading
whatever's
his
in front of
seed,
you.
like and masturbating in nature.
I've done it too.
I
I'm
know.
not gonna
I
lie.
found
It's
like
nice.
some
It's
hella
not bad.
secluded spots, and I just kind of just sat there and jacked off while looking at the
Mosquito.
trees.
You literally,
never
if
done
there's a
it.
Peter,
It
if
just-
there's a
You don't have to
skeeter on
worry
your
about
Peter.
anything, and you just
Nah,
you're just
Ethan.
going.
It's
if
never-
there's a
it's
skeeter
never-
on your Peter, bro,
My
you gotta
brother
whack
fucked
it
up
off.
me
It wasn't
one
mosquito
time.
season.
He jerked you off
Bro,
in the woods.
Ethan, when you're like, I
No.
know a spot, we go over there and it's
No.
just Bug Central.
My
It
brother
wasn't bug
caught me
central.
It
one
was
time.
though,
jerking
and I
off
know
in the
it.
woods.
When
Well,
I
it was
first went
Advantage. While we were out rock climbing,
Oh,
and
okay.
he went up ahead, and then I
Did he
started
jizz off the cliff?
wanking it. No, I
I'd
started
jizz off a
wanking
cliff.
it while he was walking up the trail, and then like I ended up taking a couple minutes longer and finished. But he was like, "Man, he's taking forever. Where's he at?"
What inspired you to jerk off like right before you're going climbing?
Well, we are leaving climbing.
Oh, okay.
So I,
Gotta
You
get a
just
good
wanted
release.
high
It's a cool
altitude
down.
nut,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's a cool down exercise,
Post-workout.
dude. After
Yeah.
workout, just get it out.
and then he needs that post nut to get back
but
down. You
no,
know,
he
like
caught me. He was about to drop a rock next to me and scare me, but decided to let me finish.
Did they know? Did
How
they
long
know
did
you
he
were
watch
wanking?
you jerk off?
Yeah, I
dog? Like,
know,
what
right?
the fuck? He's like,
Oh nah.
he's like, oh shit.
I'm
right?
not-
Down there rubbing
don't
one
worry,
out.
I'll
Yeah.
Should
Got
I
some
drop-
pretty
So he
bi-curious
finished
friends over there.
first. Yeah.
No supplementary information for this.
Right as you were nutting, he
I-
should have taken a picture of you. Like, hey,
Yeah.
Brennan. like, oh, like mid nut.
Yeah.
So I was sleeping over at my homie's house, and we were on the bed, and then there was someone sleeping on the floor. I don't know who, but in the middle of the night, someone leaves the room from off the bed. Someone's still on the floor, and I'm in the bed, and I hear the massage gun go off, and I hear grunting, like very soft grunting, and then I hear it turn off, and I hear. And then I hear it turn on again, and I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is
ain't
happening?
no way, dog.
You know who it is. You know. And,
Yeah,
and
bro, I just never.
and I was like, no, bro.
I've never jacked off in the woods. I've fucked in the woods. I've got head in the woods, but I've never. It's never inspired
awesome.
me. Like
The
I've never
Mother
been
Nature-
in the,
Picasso, bro.
I've
You gotta
never
like,
been in the,
she's hot as
woods
fuck.
and been like, man, I really want to jerk off right now.
Yeah.
yeah, tree hugger,
No,
like
no,
Mother
tree hugger
Nature.
Like, look
activity,
at this
bro.
beautiful
Hottest
scenery
chick of all
behind you. You
time.
wouldn't want to jack off to that?
Well, guess who's letting off the steam in that photo, bro? Somebody's jacking off, and it's
Yeah.
Homie's going to town.
Yeah. Me
I'm the minority. In
and the
this, right?
Craigslist meetup we had
Yeah.
in those woods.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I like full 180 real quick?
You're like jerking wood, bro. That's our fucking group.
Yeah.
So before we started the podcast, we were on some interesting fucking topics, and we were talking about the can confirm nor deny guy going on Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah,
we were talking
funny,
about
I
like
was just about
you're
to
just
mention.
about to mention that. Yeah, I've been chomping at the bit, bro. Like what? Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Instead of talking about jerking off in the
Yes,
woods.
please.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But no, fuck, what was his name? Just on Joe Rogan, but he was in the Navy for like 20 plus years, and he could have been like a general by
David
now.
Grush.
Yeah, David Grush.
I queued this shit up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Queued it up.
Yeah, for real.
But no, he
But are you the captain
and
for real?
he's working for like Congress as part of like an informational committee to be
Yeah.
able to release all this stuff.
He's a
from,
former.
like,
I can tell you exactly
Hold on,
what he
can
is.
I- can I
David
ask a
Grush
question
is
real
a
quick?
former Air Force intelligence officer.
Was he one of the ones that was part of the Congress meeting?
He was a rep. Yes, he's
He
a
was?
representative
Okay.
of the
One-
National Reconnaissance Office of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. That's the UAP.
Yeah.
So they changed it
Them-
from UFO
it's
to
so-
UAP.
I'll talk about it later. I'll put a pin in
and
that
he,
one.
Yeah, so he was the an officer of that task force, and he co-led the unidentified aerial phenomenon analysis at the National Special Intelligence Agency.
Yeah. No, and that shit was wild. He was talking
Right?
about recently. He said part of the interview, like, I can 100% say with certainty that there's aliens and
Oh my
and
goodness.
interdimensional beings.
Okay, so we were talking about that earlier because you were
He said
saying that
intelligent life.
you said that it wasn't that they were extraterrestrial, but you were mentioning that they weren't even a like living life form, that they were in other dimensions or different planes of existence.
Right.
Yeah. Like they're not from another planet.
They're
But yeah,
from another dimension.
dimension.
So I feel like
And the example
and
given.
we were just talking about orbs. He's like, they express themselves in orbs or like
but not camera
hallucinations
specs,
kind
right?
of thing.
Because
Yeah.
the whole camera spec thing with ghosts is like it's just a speck of dust. But orbs,
Yeah,
as in
that's the
like
argument.
that's the argument. But what kind of orbs are you talking about? Like
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this last night. He got one on his film doing the ghost stuff.
Now,
but when
was-
I
but it was like
followed
a-
around the grandmother drum project. Yeah, that's the one thing I couldn't explain because there was always just like dozens of orbs, and I'd have tons of different people take pictures as long as it was a digital camera.
There's
Yeah,
something in
and-
like, is it Scottish myth? The wisp or something? It's a little like blue orb and you follow it and it.
No, they're all white generally.
Navi from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but there's some legitimacy to this.
The movie Brave, she follows the little blue things.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty
I know-
sure that's
I know
gotta
what
be
you're
something
talking
in
about.
mythology.
Okay, but
But no, we
So-
had like dozens of different places that they had meetings, and I always had just random people take photos. There's always orbs, no matter what.
No-
Whereas like other places I'd go, there wouldn't be orbs. Like
so are these orbs? Are they? Would you say like extra, like interdimensional beings viewing in, like peering
I
into our
always wondered
dimension,
what they
or
were, honestly.
would they be
myself.
specks of dust? You
I
say
can't answer that.
you
myself.
caught orbs in your video. Now, do you think they were like ghosts or like other interdimensional beings, or were they specks of dust? Or
I can tell you for certain there was nothing in front of it. I was watching in front of the camera lens specifically to make sure there was nothing.
there was no dust? Okay. See, now that's
Yeah, no
now you're
dust,
piquing my
no
interest
bugs.
because for the longest time I've saw like so many orbs and specks get like discredited or disproven because it was thought that they were like specks of dust.
Well, the example that's
I
given.
kept my gaze in front of the camera lens because I knew something would be, there. And it was
Right.
a question, and I made sure I didn't see anything there. There was a light shining right
That's
on it.
the
I ever
that's
talk
fucking
about
cool.
my experience. With ghosts?
So the example
Oh, shit,
given
okay.
in this dimensional is like Carl Sagan used the Flatlanders, the 2D versus 3D, and so like if we went into their world, they'd just see a two-dimensional cross section because they can only see two dimensions. They have no up.
Now,
right?
well,
Now imagine something from another dimension is intersecting our dimension. We're only going to get a three-dimensional cross section of that. We're only going to be able to see one, like what we have instrumentation for, right?
Right.
Like what we have senses for, right? Anything outside of that, if we don't have any, like we can see now in the ultraviolet and the infrared because we've developed instrumentation for that, right? But
Remember the goggles the early night vision goggles they released in Vietnam, and people had to stop wearing them because they said they were seeing demons?
So
I did hear about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and these are things that you can home
they're
make.
peering through the veil.
You want to touch up on that because there's a bunch of videos
I
that surfaced
forgot-
recently.
Yeah, no, there's videos talking about how you can do it. It's basically something with infrared light and like sensors. I don't know enough on the topic to like fully speak on it.
but we could post a
but-
link. You can.
So
Yeah,
it
you
wasn't-
can make your own glasses, but the material you use to make it is like banned in the U.S. because it's a carcinogen. You know?
Yeah.
So what I remember seeing in the video was that the information that was being perceived through the goggles was fact because it couldn't be disproven because it was coming in through the goggles.
Yeah.
And so like people were trying to say that it was fake or whatever, but it's like the instrumentation is reading that and it's present.
That's what David Grush was saying on Joe Rogan. He was like, no, we were able to determine with our instrumentation that this wasn't generated within the system, that this is actual phenomenon that is being registered by the instrumentation.
And he's saying he's been talking to hundreds of people and multiple different governments and
there's things
every
he
single
can't
one
disclose.
of them.
Like he's only talking about the things
Because
that,
he has an NDA, because if he talks about certain
he-
topics, he might be like KOS.
He has top secret clearance still.
Wait,
No.
yeah.
He does have an NDA, but he has a top secret clearance still. And so
True.
every single thing he discusses, he has to get it approved through the agency.
Right.
yeah.
But
I agree
but
with you. You're
he
talking
also-
about the NDA, like
Yeah, propagandist
but-
approved.
But he also is working for Congress to disclose all this information to them because they've been holding on to it forever. And
Right.
they're just like, man, society just needs to know the basics of this, not like
the complete
not
details.
like all the stuff that could be like
Wish-wash
danger
or-
to the country.
Well, okay,
But-
so
But
there's
just that there is alien life and interdimensional beings.
Or that there's a reverse engineering.
what's it
section.
called?
well,
And
yeah, and that's
Ethan,
been going on forever.
Yeah.
what's it called in the SCP association or whatever, where there's like there are things that if you know, it is just a hazard to yourself. There are cognitohazards. I feel like there might be like what you're talking about, legitimate cognitohazards, where there's like certain information that just by knowing that will harm you and others.
Yeah, like as soon as the knowledge of that information hits your consciousness, like
You are
boom,
already-
now you're like tuning that
Yeah.
frequency, right? You're
I think
transmitting that
that's
frequency.
what happened to me, at least.
You think you came across a cognitohazard and you were
Yeah.
like
Anything
exposed
spiritual.
to a cognitohazard?
Like if you dip your fingers in it quite a bit, it gets interesting.
Wet as fuck.
All
Yeah.
right. No, I was gonna say I had an experience
sorry.
with ghosts.
Yeah,
when was over
I've
at my
had
friend's house. Yeah.
I've
Did
had
you-
unexplicable experiences as well.
Yeah.
Like we use this term ghost, right? But how would you define ghost?
Apparition.
Right? So, but what is that? How would you
A
describe it?
non-physical being.
A non-tangible entity.
Entity.
So
Oh, what he was also.
Ectoplasm.
Yeah.
I was looking for some nerd shit.
I see. But he was also saying like this doesn't disprove like even religions because like it proves there is like a higher
higher being,
energy, higher beings.
So
and
I was
higher
going to
powers.
touch up on that. Like
And that's why even the Catholics came out and said they're okay with aliens
it's hard
because
for me.
they've discovered stuff.
Yeah, because
I'm
if there
sorry,
are
I'm sorry,
angels,
I'm still-
angels are aliens. They're extraterrestrial. If God is an alien,
Or
If-
they're-
like
they-
he's not from here, right? Like if you're not from here, that's what that means. Extraterrestrial, like beyond.
Not even just beyond our solar system, but they might be like interdimensional.
Beyond our dimension. Yeah.
So what was I going to talk about? Like beings that exist within frequency. It's very hard for me to get a grasp of that concept because
Right.
I can't discern whether I want to agree with that might be true.
It hurts your brain.
Yeah, it hurts my brain. It's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to comprehend the existence of like a frequency
beings
being,
hurt my brain.
or just like interdimensional beings. But I'm not going to say that it's incorrect or false either.
So-
I'm very neutral when it comes to the subject. I'm open.
Like, you can't even talk on it with any degree of certainty at all. All we can do is hypothesize.
I'm
all
open
we can
to
do is
suggestion.
speculate.
Yeah.
We can speculate. That's it. Like, we have no way. Like, if you've seen something that you can't fucking explain or describe, and you try to explain it to somebody, you sound like a fucking crazy person.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you
feel
say,
like a crazy person,
Yeah.
they're looking at you like a crazy person.
and so and the crazy part about no, and it gets even crazier because if you try to say that you're not crazy, it makes you feel more observed and more crazy because people
Right.
aren't willing to level.
yeah, and you collapse into a black hole.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear I'm not crazy,
No,
but
but
that's what a
I've
crazy
had-
person would say. It's
I've
like,
had
you know.
I've had 2 ghost experiences that I fucking can't explain.
So the moon one, the blinkage, where there was that orb in the sky and it blinked out, is that one of them?
that I was, I mean,
Was that completely
not
different?
Ghost. I wouldn't say ghost, but I mean, like, as far as, you know, like, there's
I saw a visible entity with like a humanoid figure.
really.
Yeah.
While
So-
tripping. And so we can get into that subject as well because I feel like tripping, like
Hearing, like, if you're
Right.
peering through the
Tripping,
veil.
The way my friends' parents put it is they don't mess with that because they already know it's like a can of worms they don't want to open. But they basically said it's like a stage with the curtains up, and when you take shrooms, it just like opens the curtains.
Yeah.
And
I was
like,
going to
"All right."
say, yeah, it's kind of like a switch, and the shrooms allow you to perceive things that you would otherwise be shut off to.
religion.
Yeah. I think all
shrooms.
hallucinogens, honestly, do
Allow
that.
you to like peer into different wavelengths
Okay,
and
okay.
or
I'll
like
get into the
levels
story
of perception.
Right.
before we
Yeah.
move on, so I can get this out.
Do you? Okay, I was going to ask you.
Let the man finish. Let him finish.
Have you talked about this in a previous episode? Because I remember you
think
telling
so.
me. I remember you telling the podcast about your extraterrestrial, or not your ghost story.
Maybe early onset, but I'll blast
All right.
through it.
Bring
All
it
right.
a little
So-
closer.
I was chilling, right, watching anime with the boys, like we were on the come up. From that point to like the next 30 to 40 perceived minutes, it was probably like 10. But for the next 40 perceived minutes, I was just hit with the most intense deja vu I had ever felt in my whole life. Like I felt like I was reliving a past life. And I know that's not the case, but I felt it and I was like, okay. And then in my head, something's like, go outside. I need to speak to you. I'm like, whatever, sure. So I just dip out on everyone and I go outside and
You follow your
looked-
conscious.
I looked in the direction of the area because we set up a blanket outside and we were like kind of like partying out there all week. And I go out there and I feel like a heavy emotional weight is like added on to me. And I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, can you please leave? I don't have any ill will towards you. I hope you have no ill will towards me, but I don't need you here right now. And it didn't speak to me, but I understood what it meant through how I felt and how it made me feel. So it was kind of like okay, I'll leave. Just wanted you out here.
Nonverbal communication.
So I was standing out there for a bit and I was just looking at the stars and my friend comes out and he's like, yeah, so the area where we were partying next to is like literally a foot away from where we buried all of the dogs and our grandpa's buried over there. I didn't learn that part till the next day. We'll get to that. But so I'm out there and we put our hands on the ground to apologize to, we were being hella spiritual. We were apologizing for partying like on their graves, basically.
Oh, and one of the homies like desecrated it as well. and
Oh
we had
God,
to clean it
it
up.
was so bad. We had to spend
That's
a full we had to landscape it up. And
For
make
some
it nice.
reason, he had a pickaxe and a shovel, and he was like picking at the rocks and the dirt, and like, it was
bad.
homie was tripping.
Who was this?
You don't know.
No.
No names.
Okay.
But so we're out there.
You
we're
can even say a
apologizing.
code name. I don't give a
So
fuck.
the
Yeah,
wind's
yeah.
blowing. It's the forest. The wind's blowing. There's sounds. There's bugs and everything. Suddenly the wind goes dead silent. All the bugs are quiet and it's a piercing silent. Like it goes from like audible like ambience in the forest to dead silent. And I feel everything get like the air gets thick. And I stand up.
Like, you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I stand up and I tap my friend on the shoulder. I'm like, stand up. And we held hands. And I looked over to an area. There was a stump that overlooks the valley, and it was like beautiful. And I'm like, we need to go over there. So we walked over and sat on the stump. It was like a little walk away, and we're sitting there looking into the bushes. And this dark figure with a hat on, and like you couldn't see his face, but you could tell it was like an old figure with a hat on. And it was like there was dark, like tattered, amorphous, like barely
Hagrid?
visible.
Was it Hagrid?
It was like skinny and tall.
Okay, well, Hagrid.
And it was just standing there.
Abe Lincoln.
And my friend started freaking out. But for some reason, I wasn't scared. But he's like, because he was seeing the same thing. I'm like, you see something right there? And he turned to me and is like, and because I thought I was just tripping, I'm like, oh, I'm just seeing this because I'm tripping. But the fact that he was seeing, I started describing it and he started freaking out even more. And I'm like,
yeah, shared hallucination.
Yeah.
You're like,
I started speaking.
You're confirming this shit? Like you're seeing this shit too?
All the weirdest shit happens on hallucinogen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
So I started
You see that
talking
too?
to it. And I didn't have any fear. I don't know what about it made me fearless, but I was just like, hey, I don't know why
the
you're
mushrooms, homie. The mushrooms made you fearless. I don't feel any, like, sometimes I get freaked out by, like, you know, spirits or whatever. I think it's just like sometimes we're skittish and we're scared. I don't know. But like when I'm on mushrooms, nah. What the fuck's going on? Like what's like I'll just go
That's
straight
why I want to
towards
be
it.
on the next ghost hunting episode, because they were chickening out of a couple places. And I'm like, I would have walked into that building. I would have. Just to figure it out.
The helicopter.
F around and find out.
Yeah.
You're like, can you do this?
Do you see a spirit?
I'm a spirit. I died a terrible death.
No, it was crazy. It's the most visceral experience I'd had. Like
You have to have a phantom penis in order to get a ghost boner.
Jesus Christ.
Did you speak on your experience? The one where at the end of the hallway?
With my brother or
With your brother.
Oh, have I talked about
you're
that on the
talking Rainier
podcast?
Beach?
Rainier Beach.
I don't know.
So I'll start with the aftermath and go back to the beginning. Something happened in our house. We were going to bed. We were watching SpongeBob. It was funny as fuck. I remember just laughing my ass off watching SpongeBob with my little brother. And then out of nowhere, the power goes out. We hear our mom scream and a door. Okay. So anyway, the power goes out. And we go to our mom, and at the front door, she has a cross. For whatever reason, the cross is swinging, and our mom is praying on her knees in the living room. I've never seen my mom pray a day in her goddamn life.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her do anything like that. She's not even religious. After we hear our mom scream and the power goes out, we go out to the kitchen because there was an emergency light in the kitchen where like it had an external battery. And so we're across our room, out of our doorway is the bathroom, and then it's like a T, and this is the kitchen. And so we peer out into the kitchen to see what's going on. And like you experienced, everything went dense and cold, and we see a dark shadow rush at us from the kitchen down into the bathroom, and the bathroom door closes itself. We're freaking the fuck out. We're losing our god. I'm like holding my brother with my life. Like I'm trying to protect him.
Yeah.
I go into the bathroom and like see what's going on. Nothing's happening, right? So then we leave through the kitchen into the living room, and that's when I see the cross swinging and my mom praying in the middle of the living room.
Wow.
And that had me shook. And my mom was like trying to cast us with some prayer as well to protect us from whatever was going on. All the other houses had power except for ours.
I know if I was a ghost, if I'm ever a ghost, I'm fucking with religious people hella hard. Any religion, any cross, I'm turning that shit upside down. Any fucking rosary, I'm giving it a whirl.
Yeah,
like,
that
seriously.
That
that's
Yeah. It smells
that's
funny
like
in here.
the closest thing that I've had to a ghost experience. Like seeing
That's a full-on ghost experience.
It kind of looked like the chick from Rings, or from
From The Ring.
From The Ring, yeah, because it was like white tattered cloth, but transparent, and it was just black hair and a dark face. But it rushed at us and like went into the bathroom. And I'd never seen anything like that in my entire life.
Hey, Mr. Phasmophobia, what was that? What would that be? An Oni?
I have no idea. All I know is that there was a dark aura to it, and we heard our mom scream. So that's like the craziest ghost experience I've had in my life.
Damn.
Yeah, I've never had one where I had any kind of where I saw anything like that. No.
Yeah,
I
me
did have
neither.
a fever dream.
Have you ever heard of Carlos Castaneda?
Yeah.
Yeah. After Mormonism, that was my religion for a little bit. But I found out later they were non-fiction books.
Oh, just like Scientology.
Yeah. But anyways,
Well,
he goes...
non-fiction though means that
Oh, no, my bad. Completely different.
you,
I got it
mean
mixed
they're-
up.
you mean that they're fiction.
No, that they were... Or yeah. The
You
fake.
got-
Okay, so
Sorry,
they were
yeah, yeah,
fiction.
fiction.
They were
Sorry.
fiction. All right.
I'm like, non-fiction means real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was getting backwards.
It's not fictitious.
But anyways, no, he goes down to Mexico and meets a Yaqui Indian sorcerer named Don Juan. And he goes through like all these ceremonies with him, using like hallucinogenic plants. So like, right, yeah. But
an actual dude?
yeah, I think so. I don't know. I feel it was real, but they made it fiction.
What did Don
But-
Juan look like?
It's like
Yeah,
it's like the
exactly.
characters and the places in this story may have been changed to protect their identity.
Yeah. But anyways, Carlos Castaneda made like a 20-book series about all this and
Jesus.
the spirituality. But he would just go and write the whole time. But no, he did
And that's
like
the Four Agreements, or that's
No.
Don Juan Miguel, or Don Miguel Ruiz
I
that
don't know.
wrote those, and he
It was
claimed that,
Carlos Castaneda.
and that he was trained by Castaneda.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the Four Agreements guy.
Oh, okay.
Because it's still the what do they call it? The Toltec. It's the Toltec teachings, right?
All right. Yeah.
Castaneda. It's the Toltec.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
Awesome.
don't recall.
Toltec?
I don't recall Toltec being mentioned.
Okay.
At ever.
Toltec.
Google
No,
Toltec.
they would go
I
like
don't
do
wanna Google
peyote,
it.
for instance, but then they would go like talk to the spirit of peyote, you know, and like they had to like do things for it to accept it, and then
Peyote devil from.
yeah, because at any point they could like kill him if they wanted to, or like the spirits.
No,
they're-
it's like why all these Native American tribes, like why they believe in what they do is because of shrooms and shit and like shamanism, and
yeah,
it's so dope. I
the
think it's
spirits
awesome.
that they've encountered and accepted,
Yeah,
Right.
and they
or
live
were they
amongst them.
aliens?
or
Were they like an
aliens? Or was
interdimensional
they
being that
a
was like-
higher
Right.
frequency
They're getting-
being met through different hallucinogens?
What's the Alex
right?
Jones quote of the interdimensional?
Making the frogs gay.
No, the interdimensional.
The vampire,
Oh,
the,
the
interdimensional.
interdimensional sex vampires.
Do you think
Yeah.
he's just right?
well, look, it's like
It would be. I would be.
What if they just harvest
It'd be
energy
so
from
funny.
us?
yeah, yeah.
Like
I
in,
think
in
that's
Monsters
what he means.
Inc. In Monsters Inc. Remember they're like harvesting the scares from the kids, the screams, and then they find out that laughter's way more powerful.
Yeah.
Like, we
Well-
could have just been making them laugh the whole time, and then it's like, well, now all the monsters need to go to clown college.
Yeah. Well, Monsters Inc. and Scientology are pretty much the same storyline.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. Oh god.
What's his name? What's the guy's name that wrote the fucking Scientology?
Fuck, what is it, Taylor? I know what you're talking about.
I just watched a documentary on this too, and I don't
And
I
remember.
I
can't
know
believe
this
I'm
shit.
forgetting that.
And I know it well too. We've had
Yeah.
many conversations about it, dude. It's
What's
so
his
funny.
name? Not Dan something. Fuck.
L. Ron Hubbard.
L.
Yeah.
Ron Hubbard.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
No, but they believe like
Hubbard is what I know.
they
him
came, or like aliens came and put other aliens on this planet, or they
Into
took
a
over.
volcano
They
and
took over
exploded
their
the
other
soul.
by.
planets,
So now you
and
kinda,
then put their souls onto this planet. And
that's a
then
Mormon thing or
kept
a
it- no Scientology.
Scientology thing.
No, it's literally a
Lord
sci-fi. It's legitimately like a sci-fi
he wrote science fiction
religion.
Okay, so I watched the documentary. I didn't know. I forgot.
Escaping Scientology.
No, I forgot Hubbard's name, but it was like how a man turned science fiction into a religion. And one of his quotes is like, "You can't." It was quoted from his book. You can't make money off of writing science fiction, but you can make money off of a religion. And so like he's evil as fuck for that because he turned his books into a religion. And the whole thing is about like, give me money and you will ascend and gain this unknowable knowledge or whatever. And then only then.
Amazing that people are stupid enough to fall
Right?
for it.
Unless you go on WikiLeaks now, they released it all.
The funny thing is the secret is in that anyhow. Just it's like what did you call a cognito?
I don't
what?
know. Tom Cruise
Cognitohazard.
looks pretty
A
young.
cognitohazard?
It's got
But
to be the alien
if it can go in the
Right.
negative, it can go in the positive, right? So then if you
Beaten.
have a notion in your mind that actually is like the cognitohazard, but what would you call it?
Manifestation.
Manifesting, right?
That
Yeah,
is
so it's the
real.
same thing. So you can like create a thought that does the opposite, right?
Well, and that is how humans have power over reality, not only physically, but mentally. If
Yeah.
you manifest something, you can will it into existence. It's just a matter of how hard you're willing to dedicate yourself to that thought.
Yeah.
It's like how crazy people prove that they're not crazy, like Albert Einstein or
like when
fucking
you're talking
Nikola
about an
Tesla,
alien
or when you're
experience that you
talking
had,
about an
and
alien
people are looking at
experience
you
or
with dead-eyed
and they're
doll-
looking
like
at you like,
doll
what the
eyes.
fuck are
Nah.
you talking about?
If Scientology's correct, I'm fucking losing my mind.
I'm losing my mind too if Scientology's
Xenu-
real.
what is it,
But
Xenus?
Lord
What,
Xenu.
what I
Lord
was going to
Xenu.
talk about is within Scientology, in order for it to work as their like brain virus, you're meant to believe that the person who created Scientology is the one above all, and that he was sent from whatever extraterrestrial being is like.
Yeah, what is
him
the
and his-
lore of the creator of L. Ron Hubbard within Scientology? Because
It's like
does he hype himself up in it?
He does.
As the teacher?
He does.
Or
So
is it just
he's-
about Lord
he
Xenu?
comes
and-
from
Mormonism.
he comes from a
and the
lineage.
Thetans. That's the beings that the Thetans.
Like don't quote me on this, but what I remember from the video I watched is that like he comes from a lineage that was taught from higher beings that enabled his lineage to be enlightened, and because he's part of that lineage, you have to believe everything he says.
Now does he
or else
claim
it doesn't
channeling
work.
or like how
I don't
is
know
this-
if he channels or
I
if
think
he's
I've-
just enlightened.
I think I've met the highest beings, man.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to
Did you
ask
offer
is
them
like
earth drugs?
Yeah.
a question I wanted to throw out into the air was like, have any of you met any beings or any like what were we talking about, like the peyote?
Yeah.
What were you calling it?
Peyote
I did
spirit.
get
I
The
guess is what they
spirit.
were
I was
calling
going
it,
to
yeah.
ask if you guys have met any spirits
Okay.
from doing drugs, because
Hold
me and
on.
him have had a shared experience, but I'd like to touch on that after asking you guys. Like, have you met any like spirits while doing mushrooms
Yes,
or
I believe in salvia, yes.
or salvia?
Yeah.
Like, who have you met while doing salvia, or what have
There
you
was
met?
like a woman
Divinorum?
goddess floating behind me, but I couldn't
goddess?
see. I couldn't see her because I wasn't facing her, but I
Right,
could
you
see
could
the
feel-
image of her.
Really? Like you could imagine the image and you felt it, but you weren't
no,
able
I could
to see it.
but I couldn't see.
It-
I wasn't facing.
Yeah, yeah. So it kind of like another like nonverbal communication in a way. Like
yeah.
they were projecting their spirit onto you
Yeah.
through your
Yeah,
psyche.
my buddy Solar was there, and
Did he
and-
felt
yeah,
it as
yeah,
well? See
uh-huh.
that I like that a lot. That's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Shit,
No,
what did it
was
feel
strong
like?
as fuck. It was super uncomfortable.
Really?
Like in salvia, you can't move either. Then you just realize there's this like entity there, just like
Well, do you feel like they were
Oh, we
there?
got confirmation.
Well, do you feel like you were being observed or guided through the trip?
I think guided. Yeah.
Guided,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
entity was guiding you through the
Right.
trip. That's super, bro. That's fucking cool, right? Like,
Yeah. There's no words or anything.
No.
but, like he was saying, like you just feel the understanding.
Yeah.
And there's no.
That's a weird
You can't
through
like
line with
describe
these
it in
things.
words once you're outside
Yeah.
of salvia.
It
A
speaks
totally
to you in
felt
emotions.
transmission. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what it's saying, but it's not speaking.
So I met God in a dream, and I tried to explain this to people at my church. right? And I got that fucking crazy look from them. I actually got openly rebuked at my
Isn't
church.
that what it's all? What's crazy is that they want you to be open to Christ. They want you to like accept God. And the moment you feel like you have, you try to talk about it, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? No, you didn't meet God.
God,
Fella. Who
no,
are
check
you
this
to
out.
say that you know God?
Check this out.
That's for
though.
the priest to know." Like,
Yeah, check. They put it behind a paywall.
right?
Like they put God behind a paywall. No, but when I met God, it was this crystal, like changing crystal cloud. Like imagine a cloud made of fucking shining, glistening, like glowing green crystals, but
Kinda
constantly changing.
Kind of like the mirror dimension. From,
I don't know, but it was the
Doctor
craziest
Strange,
thing I
no?
ever seen. And like there's different orbs. We were talking orbs earlier, right? And people are the orbs, and it's just a spirit. And when you float into the crystal cloud, you just know. You just know it's like an immediate like download or transmission where you're like it just feels it just feels like a hug of love.
That
and it's just
picture
like,
on top.
Yeah, it's okay. This is what's happening.
No,
No.
I feel like I've seen this guy.
Yeah, but it's just like a transmission of knowledge, and it feels like a warm embrace, like a very welcoming, and it like I didn't feel panic or anything. I felt like everything's gonna be all right. You know, it was like you got a glimpse into, you know,
Like everything's perfect, actually.
yeah.
Like
Even though
even the bad shit that's
all the
happening,
rape.
it's going to be okay. Like,
But intention is like a huge thing. You have to intend, and it's like like we were talking about how they make processor chips, right? Recently, and it was like the baths that they grow them in.
yes, they're
And
all unique to each individual bath, and you can't like patch them together. You can't take one crystal from one bath and another crystal and harmonize them together because they're on completely different frequencies. Even though they might be like on the same minute frequency, each individual crystal is harmonized to its own like exact.
But we can tune our frequency. We can tune our intention based on like what we choose to focus on and what we put energy towards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm curious if this like these interdimensional. I don't know if they're
What if they're not
fucking sex
aliens at this
vampires or not,
point?
but
like,
Well, the chick I met at the White Eagle place, Janet Center, she's like, "Don't call them aliens. That's offensive. There are interplanetary brothers and sisters."
Nice. Fuck yeah. I mean, if you are interdimensional, technically you would be intergalactic.
the Palladian,
like-
what is it? The Palladians or whatever. The Pleiades or whatever, and they talk. And there's the people, the followers, and they talk, and they like literally have these videos where they talk about like, oh, we are your whatever, like spiritual cousins from the future. Whatever. It's so fucking weird. Have you ever seen any of those or come across those?
what the fuck are those videos where they're like, oh, they get like this weird filter on and they say that we're from the race, blah, 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 and some alien race. And they're like, we're speaking through this person right now to
the
tell you-
Palladians. I think it's like they call themselves
There's
the
another
Palladians.
one. There's another one that's a little shorter. It's a little more apt. I forgot what it was, but there's all those like, it's always the tweaker people on TikTok or something. It's like, I'm being spoken through.
Yeah,
Being
they're
this
channeling.
is our
yeah, they're
message.
channeling.
Yeah, that's
The
what.
meth god.
Yeah, the chick I hitchhiked with White Eagle. I don't know if you heard the
Did
story.
she channel something?
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, she
yeah?
charged like $3,000 a session for like an hour.
Did
channel
you believe
whatever.
in it? Like,
No, I didn't.
No.
No.
Was it a spiritual scam or something like that? Was it with ill
I
intent?
think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn. I guess if you really placebo yourself into believing it, the people paying it might actually perceive it as the way they want to because they believe so
Yeah,
much
I
in it,
mean,
right?
I've
But she's
seen
just
so
like,
many
"Ah,
cult
gotcha,"
documentaries
like-
now. It doesn't seem too
So
far
the
off.
actual organization is the Whirling. Are you ready for this? The actual
Whirling
organization is
Rainbow.
the Whirling Rainbow Foundation, and the Grandmother Drum Project
Yeah.
is like they tote the drum all over the place to make
They've
money
taken
off
it
of
all
people.
over the world.
Yeah, like to
That's
tour.
fucking crazy. Kind of like, you know how in The Boys they have the dude that goes to events and he's supposed to be the one speaking for God, and he's like, join us, and he's like, give
Right.
us your donations and you shall
Jesus
be
Christ!
one. I forget his name, but so you met a female deity.
White Eagle.
No, what, on your salvia trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you
Right.
said you met God through a dream.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan? Have you met any spirits or deities while tripping off shrooms or any other like psychedelic drug?
Have you made
or in
contact?
Yeah.
Can you describe it at all?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, shut up.
My bad, damn.
It's more of a
Masturbate in the woods kind of thing.
More of an experience than
No. It was at night. Kind of like what you were saying with like I felt an overwhelming urge to just like, I was inside, it got dark outside, and I was like, I just gotta go outside. I don't know why, I just gotta go outside.
It's like it calls you.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's either that or have a panic attack.
Right, and like
you're like, might as well go with the easier option.
follow your conscience or die type of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I was on like 7 grams, so it was like,
Damn.
we're gonna make sure that we're gonna stay on the good side of this, or else it's gonna be bad.
You drew a light circle around yourself.
No, what I did do is I went outside and just fucking hopped on my longboard and just like slowly went up and down the driveway for a while. And every time I'd go down, because my driveway's at a slight slope, so every time I'd go down the hill, like over in the wood, it's like, at my trip, it looked like it was the woods. The reality of the situation is it's my neighbor's house over there.
Yeah.
But it looked like there was a figure coming in and out of the woods. And every time I'd look, it would like hide. But if I didn't look and I was just going, it was in my periphery.
Like the ghosts in Mario and shit.
Exactly.
Like you look and they freeze.
So you saw something like that while tripping. Really? That's funny as fuck.
And then after a little while, it felt like it was getting closer, and then it started to freak me out. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go back inside.
So every time you tried to view it or observe it, it would hide, and that was like your only way of protecting yourself, kind of
And
thing.
not even protecting, because part of me was curious. I wanted to see what the fuck it was.
But do you feel like each and every time you looked away, it just got even closer and closer?
Yeah, it started to get close. But for a while, it would like hide away. And when it got closer, it was like, ooh, let me see. But then like the energy shifted at a certain point, and it was like, I don't like this energy shift. I don't know what happened. I just was like, nope, no
You know
more.
in Moana when
weren't-
she
you
goes
just weren't fucking with
underwater into that place and there's that weird dark thing with the mask?
Yeah.
And it,
Yeah.
like, it's like going
Yeah.
from shadow to shadow and it creeps up and it's all
Yeah.
Bro, that shit, it moved hella creepy. And it's like slinking from shadow to shadow. It's
Yeah.
all
So nothing
jerky
really
and
came
weird.
about it, and I didn't really think much of it, because after I went inside, it was all like warm and cozy in there.
Right.
So then
You
it was like,
felt
ooh,
welcomed
We're back in the zone.
And it didn't follow you in.
No, it didn't follow me in.
So you were good.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't follow me in. I got inside, sat down, put a blanket on. My girl looked at me. She was like, "You good?" And I was like, "Pretty sure." And then for the next like 5 minutes, it was like kind of like glance back at the door.
Right.
Like, for like, I think we're good. And I like look over at the window and it's like, we're fine. We're good.
Nice.
And then after a while, I just forgot about it, and the trip continued.
Meanwhile, Maddie has done a ward of protection around the cabin, sprinkled salt in every entrance, has crystals up and candles lit and shit, tapestries.
No, during that point, she was
Sigils.
absorbed into whatever movie it was that we were watching.
This is preemptive. She's done this. This is how
find
she's
it
prepared
hard,
the home.
I find it hard to consume any type of media while tripping. It just feels so like unnatural. I feel
Yeah, it
alienated.
It's fun.
Like
Watch Fantastic Mr. Fox. That art style is crazy. It's
kids
fucking
love that shit.
It's nuts. And on mushrooms, it's crazier.
Is that Wes Anderson or is that?
Yeah.
Wes
what were you
Anderson.
trying to get in, Brennan?
Well, I was gonna say, you ever watch like something like Pink Floyd, The Wall, like tripping super hard, or one of
No.
those trippy ones? Or...
Yeah, you gotta watch some media,
Like-
dude. Alice in Wonderland's another good one to watch.
Well, again, not all
Music.
media, but a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like it makes me feel like uncomfortable with myself. I don't know how to explain it.
I enjoy being in nature when I'm tripping. Like if I'm
Yeah,
inside
same
or like
here,
near
yeah.
a phone or like I'm watching TV, it's like this don't feel right. I need to be out under the stars.
You
know?
dance around the house like nature boy.
I was having
no,
a
1,000%. I enjoy being out in nature a lot more than indoors. But
Right.
if it's winter and it's cold as fuck, inside tripping doesn't seem too bad, you know?
Yeah.
And that's usually when it happens.
I was
During the
tripping-
summer though, I'm out.
I was tripping with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
homies one time, and we were all having like a homie hangout, right? And for some reason, I thought it would be fucking hilarious if we all watched Black Mirror while tripping on shrooms.
Awesome.
Nope.
Which
wrong.
one were you on?
That was fucking awful, bro. I know for a fact we took
Emotionally and
we took
psychologically
something like
cartwheeled.
3 or 4 grams,
Yeah.
and I was on the come up watching Black Mirror,
You
and I'm
remember
like,
which episode?
fuck. It was the one where the people had television of their own life being broadcasted
yeah.
to the world,
I
and
saw
then
that.
the person that
Would
had
play
their
the next
own
day.
life being televised had the character was also being televised in their life, and it was like a whole inception.
Yeah.
Bro, and
so
it,
weird.
It was making me so uncomfortable, bro. And I just remember feeling like I should have never done this. This is
Yeah.
so wrong.
No, but imagine that everybody's consciousness is a channel.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
smoked
Right?
way too much weed for that show. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just get paranoid as
No,
fuck.
I love
Really?
that.
Were
Oh,
you there
yeah,
for that? Were you there while we
immediately.
were watching Black Mirror?
Where it's like they're forced to watch the ads and like the ending's super fucked up. It's like the in America's Got Talent and it's their only way to make it out of the cubicle.
Oh my
world.
god! So the one that was making me
Oh my
even
God.
more uncomfortable was the one where people bought living pods to watch ads and play games to make money to buy the big stage to perform to have a chance to get out of their living pod to make it big as like a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just so it was kind of
Like
like
in the world right now?
Yeah. You mean Japan?
Okay, no.
Japan.
So-
But
yeah,
that's-
China.
but that's what it was like. You watched ads and played
Korea.
I'll have you
North or
explain it.
south?
but-
Okay. So the ads would pop up. You couldn't skip them. If you did, you had to pay like 100 units, right? And if you closed your eyes, it would start going, watch the ad.
And so you were forced to consume this advertised media, and in order to get points, they had to run the elliptical or a treadmill, and they were in like a jogging simulator, kind of like Pokemon Go, and it would
But
tally
were they
how many
generating
miles.
energy?
They were generating
So it was-
energy.
oh, well, that's cool.
But they were trapped in pods. Like people had to live this way, and in order to get out, you had to run on your treadmill enough to get enough points to buy a spot on stage, and then
Yeah.
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 no, but like
that's just like a metaphor, man.
We were doing this right
that's
now.
what Black
yes.
Mirror
I
is.
know. No,
Black
I'm
Mirror
well
is
aware,
just
but that one specifically, it's like we're inching closer and closer to that because it's like we're all.
Black Mirror? It's
Well, I
all
feel-
like-
Oh yeah,
It's
Again, that's why I
self-aware,
get-
but,
that's why I
if
you
we
get
were
watched our
paranoia.
YouTube channel?
I was tripping balls, and it was just making me so uncomfortable,
yeah.
and I felt so like
Nah. I feel I could have won that dimension.
yeah.
It's like who's the best performer
Who's
of all
the best
time?
performer? Because
Like, have you
I
seen
got
this
it.
ass shake?
bro, but yeah, that gave me a bad
Dude,
trip.
you're gonna have to do an ass shake off with the.
I
Palmer
got
squares.
like on my come up. I got that really uncomfortable, like overwhelming feeling.
Show
and
me what
the-
you're working with.
The compression in my chest just kept getting heavier and heavier, and I just couldn't. I
Gotta
couldn't
let
watch
it eat
any
you.
longer.
You have to let the shrooms eat you
And
alive.
then-
It
and
feels
I
like
think
it's
it was-
eating
it
you,
was
but you
the-
just have
Black
to
Mirror
let
is
it.
not the episode. Or
No,
not the show.
to
for
watch. I
hallucinating.
remember we
Yeah.
were watching the Waldo episode with the blue cat dude that would talk shit to the politicians.
Yeah.
Like that one was kind of funny, but then once we got to the pod one, I was just kind of like losing my mind. I'm like, I can't
I
be
think that's when I
consuming
came
this.
back inside.
Have you ever
during, like,
seen
the second
Manchurian
half.
Candidate?
No.
And this is an old concept. There was the original, but like in
Yeah.
our time, Manchurian Candidate came out. I think it had Denzel Washington.
Denzel Curry?
No,
No.
it had
I'm
Denzel
fucking-
Washington in it.
Yeah. You know what a Manchurian candidate
Scared.
is?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it's a government-trained, brainwashed assassin. Just a randomly person they pulled out of the public and brainwashed him to be an assassin. Yeah.
Now, is this a real thing? Kind of like
MK Ultra's a
MK
real
Ultra?
fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But it kind of is like that,
and-
where they literally program people, and then they have a trigger, right?
Like
Where
a lot
they
of it
can
was like,
activate
would
these
you
people.
would you like to participate in this program? But we're not telling you what we're doing to you in the
Well, the
program.
Unabomber was in
We're-
one of them.
We were just gonna give you random drugs and then brainwash you while you're tripping balls, kind of thing. And then they were also doing
Usually
like,
people are introduced. It's like any cult, right? You're
Yeah.
not really told what they're really doing.
you're not told
Well,
what they're
yeah.
doing. It was consensual.
carrot.
What the Unabomber was doing, he went to Harvard, and it was like 3-4 years, what they called like interviews, and they would give him like acid, and they would just fucking like demean him and torment him. Just
It was fucked
regular.
up. It was so
Yeah.
fucked up. Like the
Like psychological torture.
This
Yeah.
is gonna
Broke this
sound really
man's
bad,
brain.
and like
Yeah.
don't get on me for
And
this.
he was
but
like
I
a genius
sympathize.
mathematician.
I
Yeah, he was
sympathize
at
with
Harvard,
him.
yeah.
He was literally like gaslit into.
But he was like
into
14.
insanity.
What you didn't mention, he was like 14
Yeah.
when they did this to him.
They started grooming him at a young age and then gaslit him into insanity off of psychedelics. Like that's fucking terrifying. That's so
if you read
inhumane,
it,
like
he predicted where we're at now, and he was
Yeah.
fighting against it. So he literally
targeted
targeted
the whole thing. He was talking with his brother about the terrible things that he was going to do, and his brother felt bad and didn't want to like publicize the things that he was about to do because his brother understood the state that he was in and in the position that he was forced into. It's like
I'm just saying,
he was going
Elon
insane,
Musk would be
and
a target.
He was prophesizing.
Yeah.
Elon Musk
Hypothesizing?
would have been getting one of those in the mail.
Or when you like predict the future, like
Oh, prophecy.
yeah, he was prophesying the future, and like his brother saw him go into insanity like bit by bit, and his brother felt so bad that he didn't want to out him before he did what
Yeah,
he did.
here prophesizing.
No,
But
what
like-
it was he saw his brother had no fucking knowledge of it at all. His brother saw a letter and saw how it was addressed and was like, "Oh shit." Like that's my fucking brother wrote that.
Yeah.
Like nobody else writes like that. He
Right.
didn't know about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he didn't know?
No, he was
No.
Am I confusing us?
Yeah, I
Well,
think you
no,
might be.
Yeah, what was it, like 15, 20 years he got away with it, something like that?
I forget. It was a
yeah,
long
it was a
ass
long time. But
Damn.
no, they're like, man, my brother talks like this in his letters, and his handwriting looks exactly like that.
Yeah, and there was something in the way that he wrote that was like how the course that he took in college too was like
Very
after
programmed.
That, well, and after that they had like changed the punctuation. I forget exactly what it was, but there was
punctuation
something
or
that they had changed. That
The
like,
delivery.
yeah, and it was very specific, and that was like a tell that they were able to be like, okay, yeah, but they broke this man.
Yeah.
They completely broke his
Yeah,
brain.
They
Well,
claim
I was-
Marilyn Manson.
There was
or
other
people claim that he went through the program. There's no proof to.
right. And
But he had a manifesto.
Yeah.
what were some other programs that the US government were slightly, I guess not slightly, but funding that were kind of like beyond us? There was one that
Telekinesis?
there was doing one for
Yeah,
telekinesis.
no, the dude talked about
There
it.
was
No, he
it was
talked about
portal
it.
it was portal something, and they were
Remote
doing
viewing.
Yeah,
remote viewing.
Remote
Yeah,
viewing.
And
yeah,
they
he
were
brought it up.
they were doing telepathy.
They made a movie
and
about it. It's the
remote
men that stare at
viewing.
goats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
it
it was
just like,
literally government experiments of people using. So they call it ESP. So it's extrasensory perception. So people, and there's certain, they found that there's a part of the brain that's like shaped like a horseshoe
Yeah.
inside your brain that actually lights up. I can't remember the name of the
Yeah, there's
or just has more
there's
neuron
documentaries
activation,
about
like
this,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That part of your brain gets activated when such acts are conducted
yeah,
or whatever
and
the
it's
fuck.
like, what if like we have this ability to
Well, they
communicate and it's
they
just dormant?
tested just.
Could you imagine
as-
that we have the ability to communicate fucking telepathically?
well,
I
this
mean,
is why
we're always
people talk
evolving.
about
Yeah.
astral projection and stuff.
Mhm.
Like,
No, they found most people didn't have it, but yeah, it was just very rare amount of people.
Did you read their papers
But-
on like?
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
They sent out they said everybody just name one building in the entire U.S. Like we're testing to see who's psychic, and they just picked one building out of the U.S. and something.
oh,
like
and they had one selected that they wanted people to guess, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was something like 20 people got it or something like that, and like a few of them even drew the building of the exact same picture.
So like savantism with it.
Yeah. And so, but they were saying that they could actually like see hostage situations and exactly where they're at. But
Holy shit.
one was saying they did it for 2 years, but couldn't stand it because he could feel like every emotion that was in the room of these hostage situations, like it became part of them.
Yeah.
It was just like I couldn't do it anymore. It was too emotional.
Much.
Yeah.
You're like emotionally overwhelmed with the situation.
Yeah, you feel the hostages, like just fear of being there, and like
Fucking Christ.
like
yeah.
I'm gonna die like any second. Like,
God. Yeah,
That's
that's
crazy.
It's fucking terrifying.
all right.
Okay.
Fuck off.
So
No, I'm just
so the Unabomber's manifesto was titled "Industrial Society and Its Future," and I fucking highly recommend that anybody should read it because it literally is describing where we're at. It is relevant. It's super fucking relevant. Like
Yeah.
he had legitimate fears about where society is, right? And he predicted this shit. Like no joke. And like obviously he took it in a direction where it's
Like way off
Yeah.
base, but
It didn't make a lot of sense to bomb things the
yeah,
way he did.
Yeah, no, because like that's
like-
where he was just not
Yeah.
right in the head.
Yeah, him and if Timothy McVeigh made his bombs, maybe.
Oh God, Jesus fucking
way to drop a
Christ.
bomb on us.
Yeah.
Man, goddamn. Like
Man.
No, he had like little mail bombs. Like, what's that gonna do?
Yeah, but we were talking about aliens.
Yeah.
We were trying to have a conversation about
I
aliens.
was trying to get a full circle of like psychedelic or spiritual experiences, and I was gonna end it off with a shared experience me and Ethan had on mushrooms. It was my first time doing a lemon tech, and I don't know if I've spoke of this on the podcast or not, but
Smurf juice.
Yeah, okay. I watched at least like 10 lemon teching videos before I did it, and in every video the juice that they had for their lemon tech was the color of like lemon or lime juice, fucking yellow, right? Yeah. I did this lemon tech with the bluest mushrooms I could find. I was breaking them open, looking on the inside, seeing if there was bluing and not.
No, these mushrooms were legitimately strong as
and so I grind the mushrooms up and I mix it with the lime juice. We come back. I waited like 20 extra minutes. They say to do it for 25, 30 minutes. I just let it soak for like 35 or
you showed me. I saw the Smurf
I let
juice.
it smoke. I let it sit for like 45 minutes. We come back and the juice is blue.
Dark
so
blue.
First
I was legitimately
flag,
like, what, you're brewing up potions in here,
no,
like Gargamel and shit for the
halfway
Smurfs?
into it,
Like,
halfway
homies
into
out
it,
here.
it's kind of like a greenish blue, and then we come back like 20 minutes later, and the juice is fucking blue, like a dark murky blue. And so we strain it out, and Ethan takes like maybe like a quarter or like a sixth
hit
of
Smurf
the
juice
juice.
that night?
No,
I
that
came
was a
out
different time. It was a
No,
faulty tech.
but
We
do you
made a
think-
shitty tech.
Smurfs are blue on the inside if you're having sex with them.
No, definitely on the outside. But anyways,
You think it's just on the surface?
yeah.
That's not what we're talking.
That's not what we're talking about. So
I was curious.
The blacker
basically,
the berry.
apparently this is like
Sweeter
that
the
was like
juice.
the most
Yeah.
potent lemon tech you could make, the blue juice, because I've never seen anything like that. Ethan has maybe like a minuscule amount of that compared to what I have, and we had a shared experience that night. So halfway into our trip, to me, I'm experiencing, we're in a tent outside in the yard just for shits and giggles. Like, it was pretty fun. The tent is like a fucking disco party. It's going RGB, all of the colors of the rainbow, and it's bouncing left and right, up and down, and it feels like I'm at a fucking party.
Wait,
and
was
then
there any lights in there? Or you just
there was no lights. The light
Nice.
that we got was the light shining from the porch,
Got
and the
it.
whole
Yeah.
thing was lit up like a fucking disco party.
But this is when we had the fire, though. And
No,
you guys
other lemon
You guys
tech.
went off. I
Nope.
remember when you
Nope,
went
the
off.
blue
You told me
juice-
you had the
Blue
the
juice is
full
different.
DMT experience, right? This is that experience.
Did we have a fire before the lemon
Yeah,
tech?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I
No,
thought you were
different times.
No, we did a fire before we did the lemon tech that night, not during. It was a different
that
time.
was a separate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the porch light lit up the tent, and I felt like I was having like a disco experience or whatever. And then kind of like everything goes quiet, and me and Ethan look at each other, and then we look back up, and through one of the seams in the tent, an eye goes in. It feels like it just ripped the fabric of reality and peers down on us. Like one big white, like beady eye just looks down on us through the tent. And then
I saw the eye, but the iris was a galaxy. It looked at you, looked back at me, and instead of like ripping open reality, it was a really tiny eye. And it just slowly got bigger.
It didn't rip for me. It kind of just appeared.
Yeah, it was a small eye, and then it got really big to like maybe like this big. It looked at Zach, looked at me, then shrunk and disappeared.
Was it a brown eye?
No.
Galaxy
Oh,
iris.
God damn it,
Sorry.
Brandon. No, but then yeah, it just blinked out of existence. Like it closed, the eye closed, and then it was gone. And then we looked at each other and we were like, did you see that? Like, yeah, I just fucking saw that. What the fuck was that? And I feel like we got to meet one of those like
It was like, yo, what's
interdimensional
up?
beings.
That was just fucking with you.
Yeah,
Just like,
not
hey, what are
fucking
these
with
guys
us.
doing? Because
Well-
you tuned into that
Well, 'cause
frequency.
I had-
It's like, what up?
I had another experience prior.
Interdimensional sex vampires.
Yes.
I had another experience prior to seeing the eye. It didn't feel like it was fucking with us, but I just felt like we were being observed because we were talking about some shit that me and Ethan wanted to manifest and bring into the future with all the rest of the homies. But prior to that, I drank the blue juice, right? The blue lemon tech. And this shit sets in fast. Not 5 minutes later, I feel like I'm on the craziest come up of my entire life. I get sucked in to my sleeping bag and I'm paralyzed, and my entire world gets engulfed in this, what I can only describe as DMT world. And you know that optical illusion where it's like the spherical structure of the inside of a donut? Do you know
toroid.
the toroid?
Yeah.
So I felt like I got sucked into what I can only describe as like DMT world in an object kind of like that. There's fractals and all of these lights and just everything's kind of morphing and changing. And then I don't know if this was like the spirit from the strain that we took, but a tiger peered through the middle of the sphere, and homie was like, still, it's kind of like a disco party. Homie was just dancing around, and he looked at me.
You saw the light tiger.
I saw the light tiger, legitimately. Homie looked
Bro.
at me. He looked at me and laughed at my face. Homie was laughing his ass off.
like a light tiger in
And
a
I
dark
thought that
jungle.
shit was hilarious. I had a laughing fit with this fucking tiger because he was just like, look at this fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing in my world right now, dog? And that shit was awesome.
Bro, that makes me want to watch the Midnight Gospel.
Yeah.
But to cap the story off, before I had drank this really potent lemon tech, my intention was to experience that other dimension. I had never gotten any crazy or like important visuals before tripping in my life. And that night I got to experience exactly what I wanted.
So
yeah.
I think it was prior to the eye, but I had gotten a closed-eyed visual where I closed my eyes and it was clouds and blue sky, and then there was just kind of a floating island, think like Super Mario green grass, and a castle that was made out of you know how the children's show Chowder, how it was animated by putting the fabric, like the plate behind it, and the texture was like
The
moving all
texture
cool.
would be static, and the world, like as you're moving with the world, the texture would stay.
So it was like a brown mushroom pattern that made a castle, and the pattern was flowing up, and then this giant figure, like barely amorphous, made out of red mushrooms. The pattern was moving up, just the outline, and it towered over the island. You could see its legs. It was massive, and then it reaches down, and like its hands felt massive, but then they turned into like human size. Grabbed me by the cheeks and brought me, it felt like I was flying. It brought me all the way to its lips, kissed me on the forehead, then put me back, and I opened my eyes and I was like, fuck.
And then
How
like,
much longer we got, Taylor? Okay.
one
All
last
right.
thing for the mushroom trip.
I have
You
a
were
joke too before we go.
Ryan, you were talking about how you were looking at that entity that was playing peekaboo with you, how you would look away and it would get close, and then you'd look at it and it'd disappear. For, I'd say 75% of that entire trip, I was seeing, like, I'd like to describe them as extra or like interdimensional beings, but I was seeing these entities play peekaboo with me through the fabric of reality, and every time I looked at them, they would fucking blip out, and it was it was hilarious because I was laughing at it the whole time. I'm like, what the fuck are these little guys?
Break out into laughing fits.
Well, I was like, what the fuck are these guys doing right now? This shit is funny as fuck.
I feel with salvia, I've been to the 19th dimension.
The
myself.
19th dimension.
It takes you completely out of reality, and you're
You're just
out
gone,
there.
like you're detached from your physical body.
You don't recall. You just smoke salvia, like you're fucking gone.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like even when you slip into the dream world, like you don't like have any recollection that you just fell asleep into the dream. You're just like awake in your dream
I was
world.
having that thought last night about how like it's kind of scary how when you fall asleep, you don't ever recall falling asleep. You just slip into slumber. And it was kind of keeping me up because I was too conscious of falling asleep to fall asleep.
Well, the other night I told you I was having a hard time falling asleep because I felt like I was falling.
Is getting really tired.
Falling.
I feel like this podcast episode wants to rest.
Oh, I got a joke then.
A joke?
So,
all eyes on you.
All right, let me tell one, and maybe we can go from there. But we got to my mom's house for Thanksgiving, and she saw the leaf blower that my brother John just blew off her porch with. And was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a leaf blower. Like, you might not recognize it. It's usually attached to a Mexican." And she was like,
and your mom laughed at the joke.
Like 75-year-old Mormon
Oh
mom.
my gosh. Oh, bro.
She was like, "You're right."
That's the fucking zinger. God damn it, bro. Good one, Brennan.
Good one, Brennan.
Fuck
But
yeah.
I'll tell my second one real quick. But my mom loves playing Words with Friends, the game on her phone. if you
Yeah.
know it. Okay.
Wordle or whatever? Or,
No, it's
Words with Friends? Okay.
But I think they're not being inclusive enough to black people, and we should make an N-Words with Friends.
God damn it.
Exclusively use the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Or what
All
up
right.
with it? All right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Those were some
Patreon.
fucking zingers, bro.
Thanks.
Patreon.com/StoneDave3's podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend. Help us out. You know, do the fucking deal. Do all the things. Please help support us. Please.
What a fucking episode.
Please.
We
I'll suck your
love
dick,
our
man.
viewers.
In the meantime,
Fuck on.
Fuck on and fuck off.